like Star Wars?
Is that the best introduction that I should have?
Right.
You're instantly not gonna like me.
Are you not? It's okay if you're not a Star Wars fan. I know it's not for everyone.
Oh, let me mute that. There we go.
I always do this where my background plays. There we go. All right, no more background noise. Go.
All right. Oh,
what do you think of Star Wars?
What do I think of Star Wars? I think it's cool. I just am very out of the loop with it. Maybe not as out of the loop as you are with anime, though, to be fair.
Okay, but my defense, Star Wars was always on TV growing up. Where we live in, I think we both live in California. Star Wars is everywhere. Anime, it wasn't on TV for me when I was a kid. It's kind of harder to find, whereas where Star Wars is everywhere here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have a better grounds on that than you do.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fair. I mean, to be honest, the only reason why I didn't get into it more growing up is because I wasn't too big on like the sci-fi stuff until like more recently. So like the whole the space stuff, I wasn't too big on that. Like when I was growing up, I liked a lot of like more medieval stuff and like more, well, I guess lightsabers, but yeah, that's, you know what I mean?
Sword fights.
Yeah, it's kind of a sword fight, so that's kind of a bad argument, but I don't know. It was still a little sci-fi and yeah.
And not anime cartoons.
Yeah, not cartoony enough. Not enough. Well, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
They have some like Star Wars cartoons out there that came out. I have some of those action figures. But hello, everyone. I'm hoping that this is working since I did get that background noise earlier. I'm assuming that it's live and then it's working. But hello, everyone. It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and I am here for another episode of Force Talks, joined by a very special guest, Mr. Hero Hei. Say hello.
It is a pleasure to be on Force Talks. Thank you for the very generous invitation, and thank you everyone who's tuning in. Very exciting.
Yeah. So, guys, we are going to kind of talk about Hero Hei or Hei.
Whatever you like. I go with Hei, but I know people that use both, and I really don't mind. Whatever's easier.
Hei or Hei?
Hei is fine. Yeah, you can go with that.
Which one is it? Which one do you say?
I say Hei. Yeah.
Okay, Hei. Okay, so it's Hero Hei's channel. So we're going to talk kind of how his channel came about, what he talks about on his channel, and then we are going to make the transition over to the, gosh, how do you say his last name? Vic Mignogna or Mignogna?
You had the first time, yeah, Mignogna. Like,
Mignogna? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that it's that one, and then I second guess myself, and I'm like, no, it's this way. So,
Mignogna.
Mignogna. But so we're going to talk about the Vic Mignogna situation. I know that everyone said earlier this week when I did a video about my t-shirt, the IStandWithVic. Yes, I do not follow anime, but when all this stuff started coming out, I kind of stayed away from it because I didn't know anything about it. And then I learned some about it, and I was like, huh. And then I'm pretty sure by my t-shirt, you know my stance. But since enough people have expressed interest in me covering this topic, and, you know, this is something I'm actually very interested in. So I figured we could have a very special show just specifically about it. And so, hello,
I think it's a great idea.
Are you excited to talk about it? Are you prepared to introduce this situation to everyone in my audience that is not aware of it?
I certainly hope so. I will do my best. Yeah, there is a lot to cover. So full disclaimer, it's been 7 months of craziness. I will try to fill her in to the best of my ability. But certainly I don't think she'll have the full story by the end of this, but I'll do my best. I will do my best.
Yeah, even if it's like an abbreviation, I know. I mean, it's exactly like you said, 7 months to cover. And I mean, I feel like everyone in my community, because I'm a part of the community called the Fandom Menace, and we've been dealing with this kind of stuff for like 2 years. Obviously, it's not the same type of situation, but it's like there's the people that have the, you know, I stand with Vic, and there's also the people that are the Kick Vic, correct? And they're just as crazy, if not crazier, than, you know, the people that defend The Last Jedi and Disney Star Wars.
I mean, yeah, really quick on that note. We're not going to dive down this because this is way later, but like literally today even, we had a dude who everyone was posting about who made a fake GoFundMe.
Oh my God, really?
Fake GoFundMe that was going around today. Apparently was made like, when I saw it, it was made 3 hours ago. It's probably about 5 hours ago now. And it is taken down now. Rekieta got it taken down. GoFundMe took it down pretty quick. But yeah, it's just one example. Like literally today, we had another fake GoFundMe go up there. Some dude was trying to pretend like he was Nick Rekieta and was trying to get people to donate to a fake GoFundMe.
Oh my God. Some people, you know.
Crazy.
Yeah, so so for just to give everyone a brief kind of little thing. So there is an actual GoFundMe for Vic because it's to pay for his legal fees while he's fighting all of this. It is linked in the description of this video, but I also just posted it in the chat. So that's going to come up a little bit later when we highlight that. But like I said, we are going to start by introducing my special guest, get a little background on who he is, what his channel is about, why he's here, why he's in the forefront of this fight for Vic, and then we will make our transition into learning about this roller coaster of a situation. So, how long has your channel been around?
2 years, about 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that.
Okay, so what made you want to create your channel, or what inspired you in life?
Yeah, well, so my channel name is Hero Hei, obviously. So I took my second favorite anime character, Hei. My first favorite anime character is actually Goku. I wish his voice actor was more like his anime character. Well, the English voice actor, to be fair. Anyway,
no, what?
Yeah, well, we'll get into that stuff. Yeah, that's part of the timeline stuff we'll get into because that's pretty recent information. But no, it's actually explaining why I made my channel. It's kind of hard for me to describe because it's so weird describing it, kind of. But I'll do my best. So there was this movement I found out about years ago called like the real life superhero movement. I don't know if you're heard about that at all.
It sounds so familiar, but
yeah, about like 10 years ago, it was a lot bigger, like 10 to 15 years ago. It seemed like there was a decent amount of them, and they were going around doing like charitable work, helping homeless, helping people like that, outreach, and also assisting the PD with kind of being extra eyes and ears, right? But that movement was kind of dying out, and I thought it was so cool. And I was thinking of a way to like kind of get involved with that, right? I always kind of liked the idea of running a YouTube channel or streaming and stuff like that. So I kind of tried to make a channel originally about the real life superhero stuff. And I had this idea, and this is why it's kind of complicated for me to answer this. But yeah, I had this idea to do that. And the first time I went to an anime convention, Anime Expo 2017, I was cosplaying as that character, Hei, that I was telling you about. And that was my first time going to an anime convention and my first time cosplaying. And when I was cosplaying as Hei, it made me so happy because people would be happy to see the cosplay, especially because the character I was kind of like not as well known. So in that moment, I felt so happy that like not everyone really recognized the character, but those who did were really happy. And that made me really
special.
Happy. Yeah. So around that time period, I also, a few months before that, lost someone very close to me. And I was trying to find different outlets to deal with that. And then I had the idea of trying to make a YouTube channel based around the real life superhero thing. Because going back to the cosplay stuff, like being a different character or doing that sort of thing really helped me like get my mind off what had happened a few months ago before that. So I was like, how can I do something that will get my mind off that, but also make people happy? So that's why I kind of tried to do that to begin with. Unfortunately, it did not work very well because my idea was to make content as a real life superhero, kind of help spread awareness to that movement, bring it back. And also, to be honest, also, growing a YouTube channel would be great. And I would also want to grow that for myself and for the community I'd hopefully build. And then number 3, also it's good for safety reasons. Like if I'm going around doing stuff like that, it would be good to record it and stream it. So my idea was to was to stream, IRL stream, real life superhero stuff like that. At the time, it was so complicated to do IRL streaming though, that it just didn't work. So I had to end up doing other things.
No iPhone to take and record everything as
you go. Exactly. Now it's a lot easier. You can bring out like an iPhone or a Android or something and just stream from that. At the time I was trying to do that, I was trying to do it from like a GoPhone and then Wi-Fi. It was just so more complicated. It didn't work out. So I ended up covering some anime stuff and Ruby, but I always wanted to kind of bring that stuff back, the real life superhero stuff. And now IRL streaming is a lot easier. And I have been doing some streams like that. Although in 2019, I haven't really been doing it as much because this whole Vic thing has been really time consuming. But I feel like it's important and, what we're doing is good. So I don't necessarily mind, but I would like to find more of a balance though at some point. So hopefully that answers that. Sorry, that's kind of a long-winded, kind of weird answer.
I honestly feel like everyone that I've met in this community, when you ask them that question, it's a long answer because it's like an evolution of how you get to this point. Because I mean, it's weird and it's not for everyone, but it's fun and hearing like. It's like a superhero's origin story, like not everyone's just born, allergic to kryptonite. It's like everyone had that chain of events that happened to them that made them do this kind of thing. So It's interesting. I like it.
Hey, well,
Usually
thank you.
You're welcome. And so obviously your channel is very much news central around the, the Vic stuff. So before all that happened, what were you doing? Were you still doing the,
Oh, that's perfect
stuff?
That's actually a perfect next question, because that ties in directly with the previous question very well. So yeah, the real life superhero stuff was a lot more difficult. So I ended up making Pokemon Go content for a little bit, because Pokemon Go
what
had
team
come
are you
out. Valor.
We can't be
no.
friends anymore.
Are you what was the yellow team? Instinct?
No, I missed it.
Mystic? Oh, all right. Well, it's been a fun show. I'm gonna
I know. Bye.
stay with Mystic. No, I don't even play anymore. I stopped a long time ago. I just really like Gen 1. I really am a fan of like the Gen 1 and Gen 2 a little bit, but after that I got confused, so I kind of stopped playing. But I did do some Pokemon Go content for a little bit there. I was having fun with that, and then I was doing some anime stuff, and really Ruby. I was doing a lot of Ruby content, not only Ruby content, but a lot of Ruby content.
Ruby's the one with the girls, right?
Yes.
My last guest, Mary Mayhem, she talks about how she likes to cosplay for Ruby. So
oh wow,
2 people in a row that have talked about this anime. I guess I should look into it.
That's coincidental, yeah. Oh, so tying that in with how I got started on the Vic stuff, I think that was the question, right? Kind of like how did I get started?
What did you talk about before all the Vic stuff, and then bringing it into the Vic stuff?
Right. So that's what I was kind of covering before that. Although I would also cover other anime. Just to clarify, I've done extensive reviews of Darling in the Franxx. I've done pretty good amounts of content on like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia. Samurai Jack was cool too. That was not really anime though. But anyways, so
I love Samurai Jack.
Oh yeah, Samurai Jack's awesome.
That's like my childhood. Do you believe the theory how Samurai Jack is the future of the Powder Puff Girls?
No, I mean,
have you seen all those images?
Part of me believes it. I mean, there is some merit to it, but it seems kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. I like that theory though.
Haven't you seen the picture? There's the one of Samurai Jack, and there's like a destroyed city in the background, and it's like the same signs and buildings as the Powder Puff Girls. And so there's a side-by-side comparison, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. My childhood.
It is a really sick theory. I just think it's more of an Easter egg. But who knows? I mean, if there's enough Easter eggs, you can make the argument that, well, it's too coincidental. So
it's probably is, I guess. Everything is in the same universe.
Yeah, that is a cool theory. Oh, but yes. So Ruby. So how that tied in with the Vic stuff is when these allegations were being leveled against Vic way back in January, I was pretty much instantly aware of it because it kind of started with the Ruby community. Actually, it was like
voice actor in Ruby.
Yeah, he was the voice of Crow Bronwyn, everyone's favorite drunk uncle. He's a great character. He's no longer played by Vic, though, unfortunately, but. There were some allegations being brought forward from people in January, and the Ruby community was talking about it a lot. And I knew about it early on, but I intentionally didn't cover it because I didn't want to. It seemed like these claims were pretty meritless, even back then. Like even as it was just kicking off, I thought it was kind of meritless, and I didn't want to talk about it on my channel because I didn't want to bring attention to it.
Yeah.
And then I remember distinctly what happened. I was actually out and about, and one of my Discord moderators, a friend of mine too, he messaged me and he was like, they actually fired Vic. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I found out that Rooster Teeth dropped Vic, and then I made my first video, I think that day or the next day. I forget if it was that same day or not. Made my first video on the topic. Had no idea if it would do well or not. It was pretty different from content I normally did, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. So I was like, I made like a 15-minute video just kind of sharing my thoughts. And that's kind of how that started. The next day, that video.
Did it take off? Did it do well?
Yeah, the next day, that video had like 100K views overnight. So I was like, well, people apparently want to hear about this stuff. So I'll just keep sharing my opinion and keep trying to learn about it. And that was the start of that. Dang. So yeah, you can see how that ties in with the Ruby stuff pretty well. It's interesting.
So then my question with that was, so Vic, then the whole situation with Vic kind of started off as just like rumors, like, oh, what's going on? And then like once he started getting fired, that's kind of when this kind of storm started. Is that?
Yeah, that kind of proliferates it. It was rumors, and then some people trying to boost it, and then really what started though, and I'm going to my timeline a little bit. If that's did you want to get to that, or is it a little earlier?
I mean, I guess we can.
I'll at least here's what I'll do. I'll at least answer that one with the timeline a little bit. So basically, this Twitter user named Han Leia made a tweet claiming that Vic is a PEDO, and she tweeted that to Funimation, and then Mars Girl started to signal boost that, and that's kind of how that started. But I'll go into more detail when we go to that segment.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, so when on your channel, before all this Vic stuff happened, because obviously it is going to come to a close eventually, are you going to go back to just reviewing anime and is it that you do like reviews and like in-depth analysis of it? And then,
to be honest, I don't think I'll go back to that. I like focusing on news now. I want to talk about kind of like entertainment news, and I want to talk about Japanese and Chinese news, specifically news from China and Japan. Sometimes Asia in general, but specifically Japan and China has some really interesting stuff going on.
Oh yeah, like Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, that's been interesting indeed. So yeah, a lot of that stuff interests me a lot. The anime reviews are cool, but man, it's just with the way the copyright system is on YouTube, when you're making like review videos or theory videos, and you got to deal with the copyright system, which it can just be abused so easily. It really makes me not want to make that type of content anymore.
Are they really strict with anime?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, if you use like clips and stuff like that, if you like, sometimes you can use like 10 seconds of clips and get a copyright claim on a video that could be like 30 minutes long, and they claim like 10 seconds and claim everything.
Wow. It's not like, what if you like review a reaction to a trailer? Do they still freak out like that?
Yeah, it depends on the company that would go after you for that. It's not even, sometimes it's not even the company that owns the IP. Sometimes there's like a third-party company that they have that goes around flagging these things. Sometimes they'll strike you, just claim the revenue. It just depends. But yeah, there's a gray line too, because the copyright law in Japan is a lot different than here in the US. So there's like a gray line with how that works when YouTube is based out of the US. But if you're reacting to like a Japanese show or something like that, then where does the law really fall? You know what I mean? It's such a hassle.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. When Article 11 and 13 came out, I noticed that everyone that was getting flagged, it's like Disney obviously is based in America, but then they have an office in London. They have offices in Spain. So they would have their offices in, those countries that fall underneath those laws, flagging people here in America, because it's like, oh my God, it doesn't follow these laws. These are the laws for us. We're claiming it from this branch of this company. I'm like, oh, you shady.
That is really shady. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know too much about, the Japanese or the Chinese entertainment industries, aside from they make really great Copic markers, and apparently really great anime. I have not seen.
Some better than others, to be fair, but yeah, that's true. And there's just some weird stories sometimes from Japan and China that interest me. So I don't know, I like talking about this stuff. Like I did a story like 2 months ago or so, when there was like the yandere girl who stabbed the boyfriend, and he was like, I don't want to get too graphic, but he was not doing so well after that, and then he was in the like just this crazy thing. She was like smiling as she was arrested. She was like smiling, and like in the police car she's like smiling about it, and yeah, just weird things like that. I don't know.
Oh, so like actual like news, not just
that too.
Entertainment news.
Yeah. So kind of a little bit of both, like focusing on entertainment news, but every now and then if there's a weird story that I think will be entertaining, I'll cover it if I have the time.
Cover the Save the Whales.
Save the whales? What's going on with that?
They're going to eat the whales again.
Who?
I thought Japan. I thought they just announced that they are going to start hunting whales again.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just care about anime. I don't care about what Japan does. No, I'm just kidding.
Except the woman that's
literally contradicting what I just said.
Oh my goodness. So obviously, I'm not a big anime fan. I'm assuming a lot of people that follow my content aren't into, or not. I know a lot of people are, but I know a lot of others that are not, because they've told me in the comments that, oh, I don't watch anime. And it's like, yeah. So is there animes that you would recommend people start with if they are going to, make that dive to get into anime and to learn all about this?
Yeah, I always like to recommend Hellsing Ultimate. Specifically the guys, really. I mean, if you like action, I guess it doesn't really matter if you're a guy and or a girl, but it's kind of violent. But if you like action, I think Hellsing Ultimate's pretty easy to get into.
What is
like
that?
It's about Alucard, who's like Dracula, and the organization that somehow owns him because he got beaten by Van Helsing many years before the show starts. And it's about like kind of the missions that they go on, and then some shady organization that tries to start a war. And I don't know, it's really good. It's a good anime. It's entertaining, and the episodes are it's unique because they're like an hour long. I don't know. I think that's a good starter anime if you like action. Someone in chat actually said FMAB. That is the next thing I was going to say. If you are not so into action but still want some action but good story, good plot, FMAB is great. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh yeah, I've seen like half of one episode. I saw the part where the brother turns into a metal person.
Oh dang! Well, yeah, that's a
watch that.
Yeah, it's a heck of a thing what happens to the brothers there. But yeah, that's a great show too. It's just a little long-winded. I don't know. I think those are good starters. It kind of depends what you're into too. I don't know too much about slice life, so if you just like comedy, I don't really know a good recommendation for that. Maybe Watamote. That's kind of funny.
I'm trying to think of one. I remember when Death Note was on, and I liked the concept for that. I don't remember too much. I know I've seen a few episodes, but that one I thought was pretty interesting. You know,
Death Note's great. That's actually one of my top favorite anime. One of my top favorite anime even to this day. Yeah, I would actually recommend that one. I kind of forgot. What I would recommend, if you're like more into not so much action, but into the thought-provoking kind of noir, I definitely like Death Note. Yeah, Death Note's great. I can, even though I've seen Death Note so many times, I can still just pick an episode of it and like man, it's entertaining, even though I know what'll happen.
I'm trying to think if I had one that I had thought. My friend always tells me about this one. She says it's only 6 episodes, but it's her favorite one.
Does it start with the word fully? And
maybe.
End with the word coolly?
Yes.
It sounds like fully coolly. Yeah.
Is that one actually good?
It's good. It's just very strange. I don't know if that would be a great first anime. I mean, maybe it's pretty much, if that's someone's first anime, they'll probably either love anime or like run away and never want to watch anime again. So they start with FLCL.
Someone sent me action figures of an anime, and I had no idea what it is, but apparently everyone that saw these action figures knows. It's like this one kid with a red jacket, and there's like a pill on the back, and then the other person has like the weird, gross, disgusting arm.
Yeah, that's a movie. That's Akira. By the way, what's up, Tug? That umbrella guy in chat. Hey.
Hello, Tug. Yeah, and I gave Tug a wrench just because Tug is awesome, and there are a lot of people in the chat, and I want to be able to see, so when I do these shows, I like to focus on my guests and not so much on chat. So when I see, either my orange name or like a blue person going through, it's like that immediate, okay, I can see that. That's a yes.
That's a good system. I will admit, in the chat. I will admit on my show, sometimes I will get distracted way too easily. So that's a pretty good system.
That little voiceover person that talks?
Oh, that's a text-to-speech? Yeah.
That drives me crazy when you're doing your streams. I'm like, oh, sorry.
I don't know how to turn. Actually, I did turn it off finally. I think today it was off for most of the show, I think. But yeah, no, they changed the layout on that program. I used to be able to turn it off very easily, and now I have no idea how to turn it off. But I guess I found out today how to do it, so I think that worked. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, because I only like to use that for certain shows, but I didn't know how to turn it off anymore. So
I don't know why you turn that on.
Oh,
it drives me crazy every time. So
it's funny.
If you've never been to his channel, when you watch his streams, he'll be in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden Siri starts talking and messages, and I'm like, I want to smash my phone, even though it's not my phone that's doing it, but I hear that voice, and I'm like, shut up, Siri.
Well, it won't be on as much anymore. That's for sure. Because I actually think I know how to turn it off now. Yeah, I gotta rewatch my VOD later and see if it went off anymore.
What is Evelingio? That's somebody saying that anime.
Oh, Evangelion?
There we go.
Is,
I did not say that correctly at all.
There are actually a lot of good suggestions in chat, to be honest. Although, like, I don't know if I'd recommend. I mean, Berserk, maybe. I actually get this. Actually, you get this too. I got my mom to watch Berserk. Although you don't know what Berserk is, do you? It's really brutal. It's a brutal anime. I got my mom to watch it. I don't know. I think that's. I'll always give my mom props for that. I don't know how many moms have watched Berserk, but mine has. So
what's it about?
I'm proud of my mom. It's about. It's about a band of mercenaries and how one of the people who joins that group ends up not getting along so much with the leader, and then very bad things happen to all of them, and then worse things happen to all of them, and then even worse things happen. Like that's really the best way to describe it.
It's like very a tragedy. What time period is it set in?
It's kind of like a medieval setting with a little bit of fantasy setting as well. Magic? Not well. Like I think there is magic in their verse. There definitely is, but in the anime, you don't really get into the magic stuff that much.
Are there mythical creatures?
See, I don't want to really spoil. Like, there is, but
okay,
you don't really learn about that. Like, when you're watching the anime for the first time, if you don't know anything about it, you're going to think it's kind of just like medieval stuff. But then kind of like near the middle, you find out about a mythical creature, so to speak. And then at the end, everything is just like, okay, everything I thought about this show just flipped. And the end completely takes you by surprise. Actually, shouts out to the person in chat who recommended One Punch Man. I would actually strongly recommend that as a first anime. I love One Punch Man. I think it's so easy to watch. Season 1 specifically.
What is it about?
It's about superheroes and this one punch man. It's about this one punch man who's a superhero who's so much more powerful than the others, and he just beats everybody in like one punch, and he's so bored with it. So it's about his story, and it's kind of like a parody on superheroes, but it's so entertaining. I can just binge watch that.
Deconstruction of a superhero, or is it just a comedy?
What was the question? The first part?
Oh, is it the deconstruction of the superhero, or is it just a comedy?
What would deconstruction of the superhero mean exactly?
Like Watchmen is deconstruction of the superhero. The Boys is deconstruction of the superhero.
I love both those, by the way. I just watched The Boys recently.
I hate Watchmen. I think that movie needs to burn and go back to the hell that it sprouted from.
Wait, why? Why? You don't like it at all?
No, like if somebody wanted to torture me for information, they would do Clockwork Orange and make me sit there and watch that movie.
I like that movie. I thought it was sick. It's okay though.
I like The Boys though.
The Boys was dope.
But that's kind of like the deconstruction of the superhero, showing that superheroes aren't, just all super. They're human too. They have flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of?
It's not so much like that. I mean, maybe slightly, but it's not really about that. It's more of the parody of it all. So it's not like so much like they're flawed. It's more like they're perfect. And
okay, and then the one guy just is stronger than everyone.
Yeah, I guess in a weird way, that's the flaw of the main character Saitama, is that he's like the perfect hero. He beats everything in like one hit, but then that's the flaw for him. He's just bored with it. He was a normal dude, and then he trained, and suddenly he got all overpowered, and now he's just bored with everything.
Gotcha. Let's see. Everyone's saying how much they love Watchmen. I know everyone turns on me whenever I bring up how much I hate Watchmen, but it's.
I would definitely not mind hearing your opinion on that more sometime. Yeah, it is interesting.
It like physically pains me whenever that movie is on, and I just remember watching that stupid movie in theaters and just thinking like that was the first time I've ever because when you go to a movie theater and sometimes it's like that movie it wasn't the greatest, it was okay. That was the first time I ever watched a movie, and I was like, I just got fucking ripped off. I lost 2 hours of my life. I lost money, and now I have to sit here and just live with the fact that I just paid to be tortured for 2.5 hours.
That's how I felt about Endgame after I rented that.
Oh yeah,
a little bit. It wasn't like that bad, but it was like that. It was like maybe a little bit of how you felt with that for sure. And I only spent like $4 on it, renting it on YouTube. I was like, man, I
didn't go see that in the theater. That was like a 10-year buildup.
I mean, I saw Infinity War in theater, and I love that. I thought Infinity War was dope. But yeah, I know we already talked about this a little bit in that tweet I made. But yeah, man, I can't believe it, but I actually kind of regret paying that $4.
I know, it makes you mad, right? It's like, I mean, it could have been 50 cents and I'd still be pissed.
Yeah, I don't even know the last time I've had buyer's remorse like that, man. And especially like over $4. That was pretty funny. So.
Well, not only that, it's like you paid $4. You had to sit there for 2 hours of your life. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's something that you're never going to get back. And it's not like we're YouTube. It's not Amazon where you don't like it, you just return it back, you get your money back. When you pay for a movie and you rent it, and it's like, that movie sucked. And they're like, oh, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So that was a thing.
Oh, people were saying, let's talk about Vic. Okay, we will make the transition over to Vic. So, how did this all start? First off, who is Vic Mignogna? How did you become aware of him? Obviously, you've been watching anime. He's a voice actor, kind of your introduction to it, and then Yeah, so I've been an anime fan for quite a long time. I've grown up with names like Sean Schemmel, Christopher Sabat, but one name that I never really knew of was Vic Mignogna until recently. So this voice actor has a good history, but he's somehow not necessarily as well known as some others. He certainly, in my opinion, is definitely not a public figure at all, in my opinion.
But okay, memeing aside, I found out about Vic from Ruby actually. I didn't really know his roles, even though he has good listed credits there. But I didn't really know of him until Ruby from his role as Crow. Although I did end up when I was a kid, I guess I watched him as Bowie, as the Yu Hakusho, but didn't really know anything about him then. So yeah, I found about Vic maybe like 2 years ago, something like that.
Okay, and so he's would you?
But this is more of a question about Vic. That's right. So no, Vic's been in the industry about 20 years or so. He's been in it pretty much definitely since anime started kicking off, and way before it started kicking off even. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been involved with it. Pretty good early connections with Funimation and all that too. So that's unfortunate that it's all played out that way. But no, he's got a good history of working on this stuff and being in the industry.
Yeah, when I was watching the depositions, they said he keeps saying that he did this for 20 years. I'm like, oh, that's a long time to be doing this and to be working for these people. But when you answer these questions, pretend like you're talking to somebody that has absolutely no idea what anything is. Like me, you name math voice actors. I'm one of those people. I have to see their face, or else I don't know who they are.
Let me also add that he's a very good-looking gentleman with he definitely doesn't look his age. He's very fit. He's a very handsome man. Yeah, Vic. There you go. So
I meant it was more as like, what is Funimation? So
okay. Well, Funimation, yeah.
We're gonna pretend like everyone that's listening right now has no idea anything about this and this situation. So it's a completely new, like this is your first time in kindergarten. We're gonna teach you what the alphabet is.
Gotcha. So Funimation is a licensing and distribution company focusing primarily here in the United States. What they do is they will get contracts with Japanese companies. They'll license that anime, and then they will pay people to dub it. Voice actors will dub over it. And maybe they'll add certain OSTs and stuff like that. But mostly it's dubbing the anime and then distributing it here in the West. So that's what Funimation's all about for the most part.
Is that the main one here in the US?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, we're talking over each other.
No worries.
Is that the main company here in the US that does all of the voice dubbing?
There's a few big ones, but I would say Funimation might be the most prolific, maybe the biggest. I mean, I think, in my opinion, they probably are the biggest. I might be wrong about that, but...
Yeah, because it seems like when I keep hearing about this, like they're the main one. So it's like, Vic was let go from Funimation. So it's like, well, where does he go now? It's like, oh, nowhere. You have nowhere to go because that was the only company kind of thing.
Yeah, it's troublesome. I mean, there are some others, but a lot of them are buddy-buddy with each other. So it's like, do we want to bring on Vic and get on Funimation's bad side? Maybe not. So they still won't bring Vic on either. Some of them are not associated with that stuff, but the more I find out about this industry, the more you see that there are cliques. And it's a tough spot, man. If you get on Funimation's bad side and you're trying to make it as a voice actor, it's going to be a struggle probably, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll add, it probably will definitely be more of a struggle than if you were on good terms with them.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, I feel like that's in any job because somebody that works at this company, guess what? They probably know somebody at that company. That person doesn't like you. Guess what? When this person's like, oh, I'm going to go hire you. Let me look at your resume. Oh, you worked here. I know so-and-so from that place. Let me call up so-and-so. They're like, oh, that person's a douche. All right, cool. So-and-so, I'm not going to hire them. And you're done.
Yeah, it's troublesome.
Second you become a grown-up and you learned how the world works, it's like, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's not as I don't know. When you're a kid, you kind of think that adults have it more together, but then you see that's not really the case.
Find out how shady the world really is.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what happened with Vic?
What happened with Vic? That's a good question. To this day, I'm still not entirely sure what all they have thrown so many different accusations at this guy. It started originally with most of the claims being he's too touchy with underage female fans at conventions. And they were alluding to some, PEDO type tendencies. And then they were saying that he's anti-LGBT. And then, I'm trying to say my words carefully here. It was that sort of accusations against him.
You can say whatever you need to say.
Okay. Well, so it started out as that sort of accusations against the man. And then it seemed like they were starting to escalate that with more specific accusations coming out from some of these voice actors. And then that went from hugging underage fans and being inappropriate with underage fans to pulling women's hair. Like a few of these stories are very similar, where they claim that he pulls their hair and whispers inappropriately into their ears, and then they were talking about licking ears. Like, it's just it's just so many things that they throw at this guy.
Ears. That is not the thing I would expect.
Yeah. So there's that. Then there was some accusations of him making advances on people without being consensual. And then even some of the accusations are like he physically pushed a woman onto the bed, and I could get more specific with the names and all that, but yeah. So as you can see, it's kind of a long list. And then as the more comedic side of it, there are even some people that are trying to say like Vic has invaded their dreams, so they want to sue him. So it's just so much ridiculous stuff.
But I mean, I could make the argument that you're going to a convention, you're going to go meet this famous person. You either are going to get where they say hi to you, sign your paper, and then you move on because they don't want to be there. They just want the money and they're just dealing with it. Or you could get the different type of person that wants to interact with you, wants to meet you. For anyone that's gone to a convention that's met a celebrity there, you'll know it's usually one or the other. Sometimes they're in the middle where they're just really tired and they're like, "Oh, thank you," and they've been doing this all day, so usually people are pretty understanding at that point. But it's like when you go to Disneyland and you go stand next to Mickey Mouse. Are you going to yell because Mickey Mouse is hugging you? Are you going to yell when like Goofy goes to high five you? Are you going to get offended when
Goofy tried to hit me?
Holds your hair out like that? No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's also very sad, of course, but
Well,
yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Like when I first started hearing about that. So I guess I'll explain to everyone how I heard about this, and then we can go from that point. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know anything about anything that happened with Vic. I still don't know any of the beginning stuff. So I've kind of gotten a rough idea now. I know a little bit more about the situation, but when I first heard about it, everyone was talking about it. I remember that article that went around where Vic invited a girl up to his hotel room and she went willingly, and then he made a pass at her and she freaked out. I'm like, girl, you are a full-grown woman going up to a hotel room with a man. What the hell do you think is going to happen?
Surely absolutely nothing besides a talk.
Really? You guys are talking in a public place. He invites you up to his hotel room. And then I remember the article said, like, he said, oh, like, let me say, like, sweet things to you. I'm like, that's sexual harassment? Like... Do you want to really get into sexual harassment? Because if you think that's sexual harassment, that's pretty damn light. But I started watching the Nick Rekieta stream. So for everyone that is not aware, Nick Rekieta, I believe he's a licensed attorney in Minnesota.
Yep, Minnesota.
And so I don't know how he's involved or how he got all of the deposition tapes, but he does live streams where he watches the deposition tapes and he gives his 2 cents on it as a lawyer. And you really get to eye-opening into this whole situation. So I saw, all of that. I was laying in bed at my father's house because I was dealing with everything that happened with my sister, and I just wanted something to distract me, to take my mind off of it. And when you lose somebody that's been in your life since, they were born, everything will remind you of them. So I was like, this has absolutely nothing to do with her. There's no connection whatsoever, so let me watch it. And I got hooked, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And if you ever, when you listen to is it Ron Toy?
You actually pronounced the last name right, I think.
Oh, cool.
Toy, yeah.
Ron Toy. You will learn what the word, the definition of hate means. Watching that man and the things that he says, it's like, oh my God. And it's a very eye-opening experience to watch those depositions, and you really get to see the type of people that are involved. And it, sickened me to my stomach knowing that, somebody that I loved just passed away. And then, there's this other person that's literally fighting for their life's work. Mm-hmm. And it's like that there's those type of evil people in the world that don't care, that aren't, they don't have any kind of feelings. All they want to do is spread hate and destroy a person with absolutely no evidence, which it was kind of mind-blowing to me that we're going through tweets and this is in a court case. I'm like, what year is this, Yeah,
it's pretty insane. Some of the stuff actually in this litigation is arguably very new too. So there's a good chance in the future from now, many years from now, even, like, they will cite this case and look at it and see how the judge ruled on things and then use that as an example for future cases. But really quick, about Nick. So Nick is involved. He was the one who made the GoFundMe for Vic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the GoFundMe is in the description of this video if you guys want to go and help Vic with his legal stuff. I think I have it still saved. I can post it in the chat.
Thank you for getting that out there too. Much appreciated.
No problem.
So Nick started that, and then Nick also helped Vic get in touch with the firm that he's currently using for litigation, Beard, Harris, Bullock & Hughes. So there's that. I mean, and then of course he's been covering it and all that stuff too.
Gotcha. So I guess what happened is, so I only know from like the deposition up. So he got all these accusations came out. He got fired. How did A, B, and C happen to get to D, which is the depositions? Yeah.
So I'm going to go through my timeline very roughly here, and just kind of this will help you understand though, basically what happened. So again, disclaimer, it's a very rough timeline, and there's clearly just so much stuff that's happened between all this stuff. But here's some of the highlight moments. So Leia tweeted at Funimation. We talked about this very briefly. She tweeted at Funimation these accusations that another user was bringing forward against Vic being a PEDO.
You can say the word on my channel. It's fine.
I got you. I guess just have it. But so Leia was tweeting Funimation for that. And she said to Funimation, and this time I'll say the word exact. In her words, she said, "Funimation, why do you employ a known pedophile?" And then linked that, tweeted Funimation to that. Shortly after that time, Mars Girl began signal boosting that tweet.
And who is Mars Girl?
Mars Girl is, that's a good question. Who is Mars? Flash. I think Yellow Flash is in chat too, and Tug. I mean, you guys know a little bit more about Mars Girl. Yeah, she was a part of Channel Awesome. She's
Channel Awesome. I live under a rock.
Yeah, no, I've been getting filled in with all the stuff too. So Channel Awesome basically was a channel run by multiple YouTubers, and they also had people that weren't YouTubers involved with it. I think it was like a YouTube channel many years ago that ended up. It was like some big collaboration channel, and it kind of all fell apart. I believe. A lot of this is just my opinion on the stuff. I don't really necessarily know about all the stuff, but yeah. So she was a
content creator that people know of in the anime community.
I think that might be a generous description to be.
Okay.
I might be being unnecessarily rude right now, but that's how it is. I don't know how many people knew of her.
What made her relevant at one point? Was it just being part of that channel?
Yeah, I think being a part of Channel Awesome, and then there was some whole crazy story regarding Juwario, and then some stuff with that. But I don't really know enough about Juwario to really comment on that. Yeah.
So Mars Girl tweets something.
Yeah. So Mars Girl gets involved with that. She starts signal boosting the Han Leia thing, and then Mars Girl starts making a tweet along the lines of, "I've never done this before. Does this need a hashtag or something?" And she's like, "How about hashtag kick Vic?" Paraphrase, disclaimer, paraphrase, going off 7-month memory or so here.
Yeah.
So she starts the kick Vic hashtag allegedly. And then she starts tagging multiple conventions that Vic was supposed to be appearing at in 2019. She starts tagging them with the kick Vic hashtag. So, some of the causes of action in this litigation right now are tortious interference with contracts. Mars Girl's not involved in the current litigation, but in my opinion, it's a pretty good example of interfering with the contract. Although you can get even more detailed, like what we see coming out more recently. But so that was happening. And then shortly after that, Rooster Teeth dropped Vic Mignogna from his position. Then somewhere around there, IStandWithVic got created. The IStandWithVic hashtag. Monica and Marky then came forward with their stories roughly around that period. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got that done.
Thanks.
So yeah, Marky and Monica Real sometime around that period came out with their stories. Funimation then dropped Vic as well. What's that?
Who's the other person? I know Monica.
Yeah, gotcha. So they're both voice actresses for Funimation and some other companies. I don't know if Marky ever worked with Rooster Teeth, but I know Monica's worked with Rooster Teeth on Genlock.
Okay.
So they're Funimation voice actresses. So they came forward with their stories against Vic. Funimation then drops Vic. And then actually, the next highlight moment is actually a shout out to Jeremy there, Geeks and Gamers, because he was actually brought into this pretty early on because he was banned from Pensacon really early on. And that was very weird. Yeah, that was one of the first weird stories to really come out of this whole thing, actually. They apparently, he could explain this better than I could, for sure. But if I recall, they basically revoked his press pass and uninvited him or something from that.
Yeah, I remember that was the first time because I kind of heard about all of it. Then he told me about it, and I was like, and then I said it in maybe it wasn't the nicest way possible, but I was like, what is this convention? He's like, oh, it's here in Pensacola. And I was like, Jeremy, the only thing that's famous in Pensacola is Ted Bundy. Like, who cares about some convention in Pensacola? And he's like, Annie, you don't understand. This means something. And I was like, Jeremy, it's not Comic-Con. It's not WonderCon.
It's Pensacon.
It's not the Star Trek convention. Like, it's just some thing in Pensacola. And he's just like, you just hate Florida. And I was like, yeah, I know, but whatever. But that was kind of the first time I heard about it. I remember him telling me about the email that he got. He's like, this guy's a douchebag that runs this convention. He did it on purpose. And I was like,
gosh.
But that's kind of how, and then he told me, the people that are gonna get kicked out if they have anything supporting Vic, and
yeah, it's crazy because I don't think Jeremy was even really that vocal in supporting Vic. Then again, I don't want to word his mouth, but he wasn't really.
Watch anime.
He wasn't even really at the forefront of this, let alone really involved with it that much. But I guess it was still just enough for them to be like, no, we don't want to let that person hear. So that was crazy. So yeah, that was a standout moment there. Shortly after that, the GoFundMe Vic Kicks Back was created. And shortly after that, we had another weird story occur where this woman, Samantha Inouye Hart, allegedly faked a swatting on her house and blamed it on IStandWithVic. Did you hear about that at all?
I heard about that, and then people found out on Facebook that it was from like 6 years earlier, and it was from a rental house.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I don't know where the logic is with that. Like, not only are you making up a fake story and implying it's like a whole group of people that did this, and slandering them, but she also didn't have the wherewithal to like delete those photos. Like, literally took them from the Facebook and didn't even delete the old post. Just left it up there.
Or like make it private so nobody can see it,
At least something to cover the tracks, but it seems like she didn't even take any step at covering the tracks. So that was really embarrassing there. So she got called out for that.
But she said that was because of Vic?
She said, I stand with Vic supporters. If I recall properly, I'm just going to say allegedly, because it's been like 6 months ago or so. But yeah, if I recall properly, she was blaming it on I stand with Vic. Yeah, trying to blame it.
So everyone is aware, swatting is when, like, me and him were streaming right now. If somebody that hated me or him called the cops and they found out like where either of us live, they call the cops. They say to come to our house, like, oh, Anna is about to commit suicide, or Anna just killed people in her house, and the cops break in armed, ready to shoot.
That's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
It is, and so people have killed. Like, I think somebody's dog got killed because the dog was barking. Because people just busted in the house and the dog's freaking out. Like, what the hell? Like, I know my dog would do the same thing. Somebody broke into my door, and so their dog got shot. Some asshole decided to give the police false information. But so somebody faked that. So that's a very serious thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still say allegedly faked because it's been 6 months. But I mean, if you guys want to double check me on that one, by all means, go ahead. And the information should be online. Pretty easy to find that. So then after that, and stop me whenever you have something to ask about or you want to expand on. So shortly after that, the GoFundMe Vic Kicks Back then confirmed that there will be a litigation to come and there will be more details following up. But they didn't, if I recall, specifically name the firm yet. So after that, so this was funny too. So after the GoFundMe confirmed that there will be a litigation, and I think they said they retained a firm, but they didn't name the firm yet at the time. But like right after that happened, Funimation VAs made a video, and maybe some of them are not associated with Funimation, but a number of these VAs then make this video. Oh my gosh, you got to see this. If I can find it to you, I'll send it to you still. It was some video they made on, I think they posted it on Twitter, maybe on YouTube as well. It was called Be There. So these people suddenly tried to start saying like, the community's been in an uproar, and we think everyone should kind of stop, and everyone should like be friends with each other, and we should like be there for each other. These people, it was like the same people, some of them, that like threw Vic under the bus. And literally within a day or a few days after getting confirmed litigation, suddenly they come out with this video where they're trying to get people to stop,
Everybody, let's be friends kind of thing.
It was just like that, yeah. And oh my gosh, they sound so insincere in that video, like they're reading right from a script, and that they don't care what they're saying. I'll try to find it and send it to you because it's highly.
And this was released by People or Funimation?
I think it was from voice actors. Swayze. I think Swayze was the one that posted. I'm trying to remember his full name. He's a voice actor. I don't know who exactly made the video entirely. I'm pretty sure Swayze will that posted it. I don't think it was posted on the official Funimation account. I might be wrong about that though. I mean, let me look it up really quick. I mean, maybe it's just a Google search away. Let's see. Let's see if Funimation. Here we go. So it was from So I think John Swayze was the one that posted it. It wasn't from the official Funimation account.
Is he related to Patrick Swayze?
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Kind of a uncommon last name there.
So this video came out, and did this intensify the Kick Vic or the I Stand with Vic?
Oh, it intensified the IStandWithVic stuff. I mean, here I'm gonna send you the video, and you can watch it whenever you get a chance.
Okay.
It's still on the Twitter there. But yeah, actually, my most viewed video out of this entire situation, which is probably hundreds of videos by now, is actually that video. That video hit like 450,000 views, and then it got demonetized for some reason and stopped getting views. Stopped getting views coincidentally, like right after that happened.
They shut that down.
Shady, right?
Yeah, that means that they shut that down. And so, what this video came out, what was the chain reaction for that?
Oh my God. People laughing, saying it's cringy, saying it sounds insincere. Oh, they just got completely wrecked. And then the icing on the cake is that the hashtag be there that they were trying to circulate around, that was actually already used. Now, no one really owns a hashtag, I guess, like that on Twitter, but that hashtag was being used actively by a suicide prevention hotline. And they wanted to be there for, for people. So this suicide hotline was using that hashtag, like actively be there. And then Funimation came out of nowhere trying to use it for their narrative. Well, yeah, I don't want to say Funimation directly, but let's just say
people that work at Funimation.
Yeah, I'll just say Kick Vic. That'll probably be a little better. So yeah, Kick Vic then starts to use that for their narrative, and it just backfired so horribly. It didn't make things better. It certainly didn't. I think people could tell, like, around the timing that it came out, that they seemed very insincere. Plus, the way they said it, man, when you watch that video, you'll see it's it just comes off so poorly. So the timing when they released it, the application of how they did it, it all backfired, and they ended up dropping that hashtag thing within like, I would honestly say within like 24 to 48 hours after they made that, they were kind of like, all right, we're not gonna.
Yeah, they backed up because they knew that they made a mistake.
Yeah, so that was another highlight moment there. That was quite entertaining. Let's see. Okay. So shortly after that, the GoFundMe officially announced that they were retaining Beard, Harris, Bullock, and Hughes, if I recall. Reddit then started censoring topics related to this quite a lot, which was, I guess, not that surprising. Todd
things?
Go ahead.
I didn't know Reddit censored things.
Yeah, it depends. Certain subreddits, if the moderators there are really biased to a certain side or not, they will, abuse their powers, so to speak. So that was kind of going on with subreddits like Anime Dubs and subreddits like Funimation and Our Anime. They started kind of censoring the topic.
So then at this point, Vic was fired, and he had the lawyers?
Yeah, by this point now, Vic had been terminated from Rooster Teeth, from Funimation, and a number of conventions had also dropped him. Okay. Probably not coincidental that Mars Girl was tagging conventions that dropped him before they dropped him.
Had absolutely nothing to do with all the evidence that they found. This was just from people saying this to people at the companies.
Funimation alleges that they conducted an internal investigation. We are skeptical about how good that investigation was, and then in the discovery process of the litigation, it came out that Sony was the one that conducted the investigation specifically, and all that came out in discovery was apparently a claim that Vic Mignogna, that Monica Rial was complaining about Vic eating a jelly bean that had her name on it or something like that, and he said, "I ate Monica, haha." It was like at a convention or something. It was like a little joke. That literally came out in discovery, though, as one of the complaints that the investigation Sony conducted looked into. So it sounds ridiculous, a jelly bean complaint. I know, but literally that was part of what Sony investigated. And I just want to reiterate.
Buy the Coke bottles too. Remember when Coke was coming out with everyone's names?
No.
No.
I don't remember that.
But a jelly bean. Okay.
I know, right? Like, oh yeah, it's so weird, man. So it seems very insincere about the complaints against Vic too. But that jelly bean thing was funny because when that news was spreading, I thought people were memeing. Like, I thought they were kind of like joking. I didn't think they were serious about it. Also, because like the next week after that story was kind of going around, it was National Jelly Bean Day. So I was like, this has to be a joke. It wasn't a joke though.
They were serious.
They were serious. I didn't cover that topic on my channel for like a week late because I literally thought it was a meme. And then I realized, wait, no, that was actually in discovery. Like that was a real complaint that Monica apparently had. So that was weird. The two other complaints were regarding a consensual kiss, and I forget the second one. The second one, I think it was just an interaction with a fan or something. But like none of them are really.
If it's consensual, what is there to complain about? That it was bad?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then there's a massive lack of evidence from their side. And I've been saying from the beginning, if evidence came out against Vic, I probably would change my opinion on this stuff. Now that said, it's so late in the game now, and what we've seen from Kick Vic and these people associated with Funimation and these VAs, hypothetically, if evidence came out that showed Vic was guilty of a number of these things, like tomorrow, if suddenly massive evidence came out, I would still absolutely not probably support Funimation or their VAs anymore. Well, it depends on the VAs, but a number of them, VAs like voice actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know why it took me that long to get that.
No worries. But yeah, what I'm getting at is, like, even if Vic was guilty of some of this stuff, the way that these people have been acting over these 7 months or so, it has absolutely annihilated the goodwill of myself and a lot of people. Like, even if Vic was guilty of something by now, I don't think everything will be A-okay with some of these people that we had high opinions of before that we don't anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I'd never even heard about these people before, and now learning everything and then watching those depositions, it really shows what type of people they are that are involved in the situation. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can hear, oh, person A on paper said this to person B, and it's like, okay, and it makes person A sound like a complete a-hole, and then you get there and it's like, oh, okay, once you learn who the two players are, it's like, it could be, I'll use the example of, Luke Skywalker and Rian Johnson. Oh, well, everyone's mad at Mark Hamill because he doesn't like the way his character is portrayed. But when you read it on paper, it's like, oh, it sounds like, Mark Hamill's being a douche to Rian Johnson. Then you go and you watch the situation and it's like, nope, totally in his right to say what he was saying the way he was saying it.
Yeah, it's something. The things behind the scenes are way different some of the time, it seems.
Yeah. All right, so let me get mentally for me back into this timeline. So
yeah, definitely.
Getting canceled or his appearances are being, canceled at all of these conventions. I'm assuming that that's kind of taking a cut into his livelihood, as well as getting fired from his job being a voice actor for these companies, considering there aren't that many in the US for him to work at. He's gotten fired from 2. That's what he does for a living. That seems like a pretty big red flag. And then there's no evidence, but he's getting fired for it. So he hires a legal team, which I believe his lawyer's name is Ty.
Yeah, Ty Beard. Yep.
And then there's the lady, which I heard from the deposition.
Yeah, Carrie Christie.
Carrie, okay. So there's Ty.
There's a few others at the firm too, but I think those are probably the most.
Those are the 2 that I heard their voices.
Ty Beard's really at the front of it all. Carrie Christie definitely helped a lot with the deposing, though. And I'm sure there's a lot of work behind the scenes, probably from the other attorneys there too. I just don't know their involvement to the extent.
Yeah, those are just the 2 that I remember hearing in the deposition. I don't know everyone's names. I just want to be as accurate as possible. And so this GoFundMe got started by Nick. How does that all work out? Like, how did Vic find Ty and all of them? How did the GoFundMe come about? How did everyone, I guess, get involved with one another on this topic?
Yeah, I mean, the GoFundMe and Ty Beard and them, that's definitely a huge help from Nick by far. Nick's the one who knew Ty and recommended him, Of course, Vic can do what he wants, but Nick didn't want to take the case himself, and he thought Ty was good for the job, so he recommended Vic to Ty. I guess Vic.
Or were they friends? Is that how that came to play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say what their relationship is, to be fair, but fact is he recommended Vic to take a look at them, and that ended up working out. Yeah, Nick created the GoFundMe. And so how that works is the money in the GoFundMe will go into an IOLTA account. So the only people who can get that money is the law firm for their expenses. And if there's any money left over in that GoFundMe, it will be donated to charity. But that's once this whole thing is absolutely closed out.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So that's
I just posted the link to the GoFundMe in the chat. So if you guys want to help Vic and fight this, because we've only tipped the iceberg in all this ridiculousness. So that I just wanted to make sure that we highlighted the why the GoFundMe is there, what's it about, and what it's for. And then what the hell else happened?
Absolutely.
I
Let
know
me
it's a
also
lot.
mention. Let me also mention something that you might not know about this, but like the timing when all this went down too is that much more prolific because Vic had just finished a movie called Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Vic's been playing Broly for a long time. Oh yeah, well there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
this movie that's on my
that movie,
t-shirt.
massive success, and Vic had been waiting a long time for that. Well, you know, I'm not saying he really knew about that movie coming out, but Vic has played Broly, who wasn't canon, and now you know what canon is, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, I figured.
You can explain that though, because
You
some
know,
people don't.
yeah. So canon, for anyone in chat that might not know, is just like what is actually like authentic lore to the show, and what's kind of just like maybe actually I've never actually explained canon, but yeah, it's what actually is in the lore of the show, and like if there's filler or something like that that's actually not in the lore. Like sometimes you might have a scene or an episode that's not like officially in the lore, and it's just like a pure like entertainment little side story, but it like didn't actually happen in that universe. So that would be like not canon. Canon's what is actually happening. I don't know. You add on to that?
The way that I explain it to people is that it's like, okay, you can take real life, you can take American history, for example. Okay, things that happened that would be canon is we had the American Revolution, we had the Civil War, we fought in Vietnam. But then if you have like myths and stuff that are things that can't be proven, that might, you know, it takes place with like these people in this time. Yes, this could be part of American history, but there's no way to prove it. There's no way to say, yes, this factually happened. This is more of a legend type of thing. So that's my best way of explaining it to someone. That's how I explain it to like normies, like my family members.
Normies.
It's like, yeah, we have actual history, but then we have mythology as well. Non-canon is usually like mythology based on real life things and stuff. So that's the way I explain it to people.
That is a good explanation. That makes sense. So I forget what we were talking about. Yeah, so Broly was non-canon for many, many years. And then Broly finally became canon in that movie because they were adding him to Dragon Ball Super. And then, you know, shortly after that, Vic is no longer Broly. So it's
was he actually voiced him in the movie?
Yeah, in the movie. He was Broly, and he's been Broly.
Him. This isn't some random other voice.
No, that's Vic. Yeah, that's Vic. And he's been Broly, like I said, for like 10, 15 years, whatever it's been. And it's not like Broly's a super active character. He was only in the movies. So that's that much more prolific because there wouldn't be that much work for Broly. There's movies here and there and video games here and there. But now Broly's finally canon, so there might be more than ever. So Vic is excited to be Broly because he likes Broly. But Vic is also the kind of guy who really cares about his fans, in my opinion. That's the vibe I get from him. And I've I've been spending a lot of... I don't just have this opinion lightly. I want to make that clear. I've spent a lot of time looking into Vic's work. I've spent hours upon hours rewatching his old work, panels. I've done a lot of live streams on my channel where the viewers and I will watch these old panels with Vic to learn more about him and his interactions and things like that. I've met him personally, so like I've gone out of my way to learn more about this guy. And I can confidently say, in my opinion, he deeply cares about the community that he's built over 20 so years. And there's even, you can send him an email, he might reply to it. He actually does his best to do that. There's times where he's even like visited fans when they were sick in the hospital. He's very caring, in my opinion. So I think it's that much worse that he's no longer this character, because not only did he like playing that character, and this doesn't just go for Broly, but really any role that he's lost. He knows how the fans also like those characters a lot. And the fans, he's lucky. He's got a very good group of people that support him. He's not entirely lucky because he's built that over 20 years or so. But what I'm getting at is, I think it's doubly painful for Vic because he's not only taking that loss, but he's carrying the weight of the entire community as well, that he can no longer be that character for them anymore too. So I think that has been extremely, extremely difficult for him over these months.
Yeah, and it's not like when you have live action, it's a lot harder to get away with recasting. Like it'd be getting to Endgame, and then all of a sudden, it's a different actor playing Iron Man than Robert Downey Jr. Like, fans will turn on you. It's a cartoon. It's a voice actor. Somebody else could come in and record. They could just, mess with the audio a little bit. Nobody will, fans will know, diehard fans will know, but, normies, just, common, I guess common isn't exactly the right terminology. But
you could use peasant. That's fine. No, I'm kidding.
No, like the average watcher, like for a kid, like a 5-year-old kid isn't going to notice the difference.
Right.
Usually some kids are very like intuitive to that kind of stuff, but just passively having it on the background, you're not going to notice.
Yeah,
so voice acting, it's easier to do that, I think, than in live action movies.
I mean, I'd imagine so. That seems like a fair assessment.
Yeah, so with all this happening to him, it's like, oh my God. But continue, because I know that there's a lot more.
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of divert from the timeline just to kind of explain my opinion on that, because that's it makes it that much worse. Yeah, and I don't know. Some of this is private to Vic, but if you watch the deposition, some of the stuff he's had to do since this all started.
Oh yeah, and everyone, if you want to watch everything that we are talking about, so how I got into it was on the Nick Rekieta channel, which the link to his channel is in the description of this video. He has all of the depositions, so you can watch that. It's a lot of it's like almost 20 hours of footage, but it's everyone that is actually going to court in this case, so you can see everything that Vic talks about, everything that Monica, and everything that Ron says.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're referencing when we're talking about this. I would highly recommend going and watching that, though.
Yeah, it's definitely very telling. When you watch Ron's, though, just get ready to hear a broken record.
Oh my God, get Excedrin, because you are going to have the worst headache on the face of the planet. You see my bathroom? See these shelves? Okay, let me tell you. I'm in here. I'm putting these shelves up, and I'm not good at planning. I can build things, but I'm not one of those people that gets all plans and stuff. My boyfriend's an engineer, so he's like, I want to have everything lined up. And I'm like, I can't do that. I just have to do it and wing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm putting up these shelves, and I'm like, drilling in, because they're the weird IKEA shelves. So you have to put the metal in first, and then you put the shelf on. And so I'm drilling, and I just had Ron in the background, and I'm like, ugh. The reason why I came up with the idea to pin all of my action figures to the wall is because there's so many holes in my wall from me making mistakes while I'm listening to Ron, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
I've never been so, it's one thing to get, mad at someone. It's another thing to get, irritated and frustrated, but it was this is there's a light. If you believe in Dante's Inferno and there's the levels of hell, this is one. Just listening to this guy talk for 6 hours.
So what would be worse, listening to 6 hours of Ron Toy or 6 hours of Watchmen?
Ron.
Dang, that was easy.
I'd rather listen to Ron than watch Watchmen. That's
okay. Dang. Oh man. All right.
At least Ron, it's you can laugh at how stupid he is sometimes. That's the only redeeming quality of it. And then you actually know what happens. So,
I mean, it's so funny because and then there's the objective forum that was almost nonstop too, and the first 3/4 of that deposition. Then he kind of stopped. But yeah,
it's if you were to play a drinking game and take a shot every time he says "I do not recall" or "objection to form," you would die of alcohol poisoning within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was a weird deposition.
It was very. But back to what's been going on.
Yes, so. We left off with Reddit starting to censor stuff even more. And then Todd Haberkorn announced that he was also retaining Beard Hair Spolken Hughes. Todd Haberkorn is a voice actor who was alleged to have done some acts against a certain cosplayer named Jessie Pridemore. She had a story about Haberkorn. I forget all the details with that one. But Todd, what's that?
Who is that?
Todd Haberkorn's a voice actor.
Okay.
And a cosplayer named Jessie Pridemore had, if I recall correctly, came out with allegations against Todd. Definitely not on the level of the Vic thing. There was no hashtag or giant witch hunt against him.
Okay.
But he did end up retaining Beard Hair Spolken Hughes, so that was also notable. Shortly after that, we had KameyaCon, which had dropped Vic previously. KameyaCon announced that they were bringing Vic back, and this was huge because KameyaCon is a convention that started only a year ago, 2018, I believe, and they center around Dragon Ball IP. So it's an anime convention, but focusing only on the Dragon Ball IP. So very, unique concept to have a whole convention on that one anime. But Dragon Ball IP is so prolific, it ended up working out. So KameyaCon 2018 was really good. 2019 now, though, they had this weird situation where they had Vic and then they canceled Vic and then they brought Vic back. Now, there's a slight derail here because with the recent filings that we've had, an affidavit now coming from the owner of KameyaCon, Christopher Slatosh, we have his affidavit now, and we know what happened more around then behind the scenes. So basically, try to tie that in back then. KameyaCon brought Vic back. Shortly after they brought Vic back, a number of voice actors then pulled out of KameyaCon. Voice actors that have ties with Funimation and are probably friends with like Monica Rial and them. So Monica Rial also left Kamehacon as well, and she ended up hosting her alternate signing event about 20 miles away on the same date on Saturday, one of the days the convention was going on.
Of course.
So yeah, so this was really funny. Very petty. So instead of her showing up and just dealing with Vic being there and them both going and, you know, doing what's right for the convention, for the fans, she just cancels, and then she makes her fans, you know, if they want to see her and get her signature or just want to see her, they got to travel 20 or so miles on Saturday, which is pretty much almost always the busiest day at a convention. If it's on the weekend, is Saturday. Yeah. So she wants them to leave Saturday, the middle of the day, go 20 miles to like a little comic shop to meet her there. So that was very bad. What we now know, at the time we didn't know about all this, but now that we know from the affidavit, apparently Monica Rial and Ron Toy, her husband, or fiance of 4 years, excuse me. They apparently were making threats to Christopher Slatosh through text, through phone, what's that?
Who is Christopher Slatosh?
Christopher Slatosh is the Kamehacon owner.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna just say kind of allegedly, and my memory is a bit rough on some of this stuff, so I'm kind of paraphrasing, blah blah blah, disclaimers. So at that point, in the affidavit, it alleges that Rial and Toy were texting and calling Slatosh, threatening him, saying, you know, if you invite Vic back, we are going to not show up, and we're going to get other voice actors to pull out. And also, apparently, Ron Toy was going to do a $25,000 sponsorship for Kamehacon, and he threatened to no longer have that. And that's a very tough spot for Chris, because he can't just terminate Vic without, you know, in the contract, there are certain reasons why you can breach the contract. Usually it comes down to legality, like criminal charges and stuff like that. Then maybe you can break the contract. But at this point, there was no real reason to break the contract. So when they first said that they were no longer bringing Vic, rightfully so, Vic and Beard Hair Spolk and Hughes threatened litigation at Kamehacon because they breached the contract without due cause or anything. So he was basically threatened on both fronts. Like, we breached this contract and we probably shouldn't have, and now that's a problem. But if we do the right thing, then these other people are going to pull out. And then the reason why I feel so much, I feel so bad for this Chris guy, man, because convention that he starts called Kamehacon, all about Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Well, Dragon Ball is pretty much run by the Funimation people, at least in the dubbing scene, you know, like it's...
Yeah, he's backed up into a corner, you know?
Yeah, seriously, because that could threaten this whole business there. Like, if you're in bad with Funimation and those dubbing VAs who were going to be an extreme reason to even have Kamehacon, that's such a tough spot. So long story short, he ends up bringing Vic back. Monica Rial goes to that alternate place with some other VAs, like I said, and we now know that there was some pretty malicious stuff going on behind the scenes, it seems. So that occurs. Shortly after that, Kick Vic apparently ruined another anime convention called Community Festival, which was a much smaller convention, but they had some unfortunate stuff happen where property was stolen, some property was damaged, and they found out who did it, and apparently it was some kids, and somehow they found out that they were indeed Kick Vic. I guess either, you know, maybe they broke the kids up and asked them certain questions, found the inconsistencies, eventually got them to admit it. Maybe they found out through social media. I don't know. But apparently they found out that those people were Kick Vic. So they were doing that. Shortly after that, this is not really noteworthy, it's just funny, and I already brought this one up. But shortly after that, you start seeing posts about this Vic invaded my dreams, I need to sue him, like kind of stuff. That's not as noteworthy, but you know, why would I not include that there? So
well, then I want to sue Rian Johnson and Disney for like destroying the thing that I love most. I'm gonna what is that? Emotional, like, emotional trauma.
severe infliction of emotional distress or something.
There we go. It's giving me nightmares because I thought I saw this movie where Luke Skywalker threw his lightsaber, and I heard a Yo Mama joke in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's a nightmare, and that's reality. Then this world has really gone to shit. But come on, I'm gonna pull that logic on them.
No, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but some of these people are serious. So yeah, it's crazy. So shortly after that, Anime Matsuri, which is, I believe, the second biggest anime convention in the United States. And I went there, and it was a great time, by the way. Anime Matsuri was a lot of fun. But Anime Matsuri then retained Ty Beard as well, apparently, in response to a movement that was going on for about a year or so called #Boycott Anime Matsuri. Now, how that pertains to this is some of the people involved with Boycott Anime Matsuri are also very active Kick Vic members. So there's a weird crossover there. And it just goes to show like how these people are, man. They always try to like ruin lives and ruin businesses, you know? Like it's not enough for them to just disagree with something and not want to support it themselves. Like they have to destroy the whole thing. They have to burn it down entirely. They aren't just satisfied with like Vic having no more work. They want to burn his life down. Like literally, maybe some of them literally wanted him to no longer be here. That very well could be the case. It's like Community Festival, you know, they aren't happy just not supporting it. They actually went and supported it, weirdly enough, just to damage the property and steal things, you know? Like, so the Boycott Anime Matsuri thing, these people would spread all kinds of narratives on social media about why it's a bad convention, why you shouldn't go. Apparently, one year they even had like 3 people outside the convention boycotting it. But you know how these people are. They tend to not actually do things in real life. They'll talk a big game.
When they get down to business, they won't do it.
Yeah, and I can attest. I don't think I saw any anime Matsuri, or I'm sorry, I didn't see any boycott people at Anime Matsuri when I went. And apparently, when there was like 3, it was the year before that. So that was also a thing. Let's see here. Oh yeah, somewhere around there was the Anime News Network stuff, which was some bullshit. So
oh yeah, didn't you have problems with them?
Yeah, they gave me a copyright strike for. I did a live stream where I was listening to a podcast that they had, and I would pause it and comment on it, and chat would comment on it, and we had our entire show, which was vastly different from the podcast that they produced. You would not get the podcast experience from watching my show at all. It was criticism, commentary to the purest extent of fair use. But they still came after me with a DMCA claim. I got a copyright strike, which affected my ability to live stream for, it was almost a good month. Now it's so messed up because they say it's 10 to 14 days, but it's 10 to 14 business days. And it ended up being closer to 14. And 14 business days is basically a month. So I still had to wait like a month. But luckily, Nick Ricada, actually, shouts out to him again. He represented me in a counter action against them because something really shady. We think they were trying to get my docs. So they were probably trying to affect my channel. You know, they didn't like what I was saying because I was criticizing the podcast. And let me be the first one to say, if they wanted to criticize my criticism, that would have been fine. Like, if you didn't like what I had to say, explain why. And maybe you would even convince me that I was an idiot or something. But they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't want to do things the right way, it seems. A number of these people on KickVic. So instead, they abused DMCA, strike the channel. The guy even bragged about it. He even, the CEO of their company even made a tweet on like the 25th of whatever that month was. And he was like, just did my first copyright strike. Can't wait to see that person make noise about it. And then a few days, like a week after that.
That's like a kid thing.
Oh
like,
my God, yeah.
I stole your toy kind of thing. Like, what are you going to do?
It's so childish. It's so childish. And this guy's trying to act like he's some big shot CEO. So Ricada represents me in that. We end up indeed winning that because YouTube sided with me, said it was fair use. And then ANN tried to say that that I was still in the wrong and that YouTube was wrong about this. They made some tweet. They tried to say I delete, this ended up blowing up. That's my pin tweet now on my Twitter because it was so embarrassing. They ended up, trying to still blame me. And then there was so many people coming out of the woodwork. Even Lost Paws Noble came and commented on that tweet, which I was very thankful for. That was really cool. He's a big anime YouTuber. If you don't know who he is, cool dude. So even he was voicing his opinion. He's like, no, Hero Hei was right on this one. So the dude actually ended up even making an apology. I don't know. It's not really an apology, but he admitted that he was wrong, which is probably the closest he's ever been to an apology, in my opinion. But so that was some nonsense. And again, my memory's a little bit rough on that. So some of that might not be exact, but that's pretty much what happened with that. So that was some nonsense. Shortly after that, now and again, stop me whenever you want. Shortly after that, there's a Tumblr blog which was cited as one of the biggest sources of evidence against Vic. This Tumblr
blog? A
Tumblr blog. And they also cite prettylittleliars.net. That's a forum.
The TV show?
No, it's a forum. It's a web forum. And they cite posts there too. It's ridiculous. But this Tumblr blog thing though is exceptional because it came out that the admin of that Tumblr blog where people were making up crazy stories about Vic, the admin themselves admitted years ago too. This was an old post. They said that 99.9% or something like that of posts on this Tumblr blog are hearsay and they're probably not even true. And this is not their exact words, but they literally said something very close to this, which doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. Said like, we use this blog as a venting space and people just make up stories about Vic. Like these weirdos were literally making up weird stories about Vic doing like horrible things, like saying he's a pedo and things like that, as a venting space for them.
That's what like your own like go hang out with your friends and maybe talk, maybe like look in the mirror and like vent out your concerns, talk, I don't know, get a pet rock and talk to it. I don't think that people understand nowadays that once you post something online, it's there forever. It doesn't matter if you delete it, there's screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that do screen recordings. And one little domino can set off a chain reaction. And especially if that one domino isn't true and it's like a game of telephone. Apparently people nowadays don't know what that is. When you whisper in somebody's ear and, you know, it's mumbled or it's muffled because it's a game of telephone than the next person. And by the time it gets all the way around, it's like the story at the beginning is completely different when it comes full circle.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. And that's a really good example because I do see things like that even happen on the KickVic forums, for example. Like this is a slightly different from that specific example, but like they will, like one person will post one thing that's misinformation and the next poster won't question it at all. And then they'll like quote it and like reply to it and then kind of back it up with more misinformation. And then it's just the truth is gone and completely like at some point, or the truth was never there and they were just propagating a lie to begin with. Both seem very common from what I've seen. It's crazy.
Well, it's like everything that's going on with the Amazon rainforest right now. I mean, I even fell for it. I saw the post about how the Amazon rainforest is on fire and how the government's not doing anything. And then come to find out it's not on fire. It's that the farmers every year, they have to, you know, burn around their crops because the jungle grows into their crops and it's in farmland. It's not like the Amazon forest is on fire and burning. And I even thought that I was like, how are they burning, you know, green? Like that's extremely hard to light on fire. But, you know, most kids today have never gone camping. So everyone that's stuff on the internet, I'm like, the logic wasn't there for me. I'm like, I can see how something wasn't regulated. Maybe oil got out. Maybe something, the government's being shady trying to hide it. But, or maybe like a drug cartel thing exploded in the Amazon. And I was like, that's something that sounds more reasonable to me than, you know, the greenery trying to burn. That it wouldn't happen. It's extremely difficult to get something green to burn for everyone that doesn't know.
I guess no, that makes sense actually. Yeah, I didn't know that, but that does make sense. I mean, you know what it's like living in California. Yeah, we have so much dry brush and stuff. That stuff just gets on fire very quick. But yeah, you're right. It's not really the green stuff. It's like the fire areas. They kind of know where it is because it's that dry brush, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, that's why, you know, somebody saw it, somebody didn't understand, posted about it. It was everywhere on the internet. You know, the Amazon's burning down. Nobody's doing anything. And it's like, nobody's doing anything because there's nothing to do. But it's one person, then another person, then another person, then another person. By the time it gets around, story's completely different. But I feel like that's happening a lot with Vic because when I first started hearing about it, it's like, oh, he used his fame to get, you know, girls at conventions to do stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, how famous is he? I didn't know who he was. Like, it's not Brad Pitt going to conventions and like doing that, but I mean,
well, let me clarify what I mean. It's not way different in the sense that it'd be okay for Brad Pitt to do that. It's way different.
Well, my thing is like,
Brad Pitt's way more famous than Vic is what I'm getting at. Like Vic, Brad Pitt is a public figure. Vic is not a public figure, in my opinion.
Well, in the anime community, I feel like he's a lot more now because, you know, now non-anime people like me know who he is, whereas before it was like only anime people. But even then, I'm just like, when I hear the stories, like the one I told you, I saw an article about how a girl was talking with him at a bar and he invited her up to his hotel room. And I'm like, if I came home and I told my mom, hey mom, like I met some guy at a bar and I went to his hotel room and he kissed me and, you know, he sexually assaulted me, my mom would be like, why'd you go to his hotel room? You know, it's common sense. So everything that I was hearing, I was like, well, that doesn't sound right, you know?
Yeah, that's the case for a lot of this stuff. It doesn't sound right. And you look into it more, and it's like, that doesn't sound right. And you look into it more, and it's like, whoa, that was a straight up lie. And you look into it more, it's like, whoa, that person's literally attacking people and wishing that they shoot themselves or something, which some of these VAs did imply. There was a VA who literally told like one of the IStandWithVic people, something along the lines of, "I want you to suck start a shotgun."
Oh
Like, this
my
is what these people are doing, man. So that's why I'm like, even if something comes out about Vic now, like a lot of you guys destroyed your goodwill, so the fans won't support you anymore.
And a lot of people will say the worst things because they can hide behind a computer screen and a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And especially all these ridiculous things. I'm like, all these people that are saying stories about Vic, I'm like, say it to his face. I'd like to see you try, because I doubt you would.
Yeah, that's a thing for sure.
I know I got you off topic, so let's get back to the...
No worries. I'm trying to remember where we left off. Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
The con, and how the guy had Vic come, and then Monica was at something else. And everyone, I think we kind of talked about it, but I just want to reiterate. So Monica is one of the main ones. Monica Real. She is the one that's like, oh, I worked with Vic. He pulled my hair. He sexually assaulted me. So when it's coming down to Vic in court, it's against, Funimation and all this other stuff, but two of the main people that Vic is up against is Monica and her fiance Ron. So
yes, to clarify, that's correct. Yeah, in the current litigation, what we're calling round one is Funimation, Monica Real, her fiance Ron Toy, and Jamie Markey. And the TCPA hearing is on Friday. It's going to be very important, so we know what direction that this will go. And I believe the judge will have 30 days to make a ruling on that, though. So we'll see. It could be maybe a quick ruling. Maybe we find out on the latter part of that 30-day period. We'll see. I don't think it's really set one way or the other. Kind of got to play that one by ear. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, those are the parties involved in the current litigation. And then we'll see what happens in potential round two. Got to see how this goes first. But yeah, Monica, Markey, and there's other people involved too, to lesser extents. We're in the timeline now, actually, is around the time where the super lawyers began getting involved. Ooh, you know about that?
Kind of. Aren't they the people on Twitter?
The people who don't seem very super?
I don't know. I just know from what I heard a little bit on a Ricada stream.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, they're kind of funny. They're kind of amusing. They're kind of weird. They call themselves Law Twitter. I mean, that alone is kind of a ridiculous name, in my opinion. Law Twitter. Like, dude, please never call me a part of anime Twitter. Please never. Oh my God. Never put any Twitter label on me, please. These people go around and call themselves Law Twitter, I guess. So you got this one guy, Greg Duchetti, who starts making this thing called the Thread Knot, which I guess is his crowning achievement of his career, I guess, even though he's not really even involved in litigation at all. Weird, man. Makes this giant thread called the Thread Knot, pins it on his Twitter profile. At some point, he even changed his whole banner on his Twitter profile to be like Thread Knot. Like, I don't know. It's weird to me because acts like he's this like successful attorney, but then he's changing his entire brand to be about this Kick Vic thing and this like why he supports Kick Vic and stuff, but he's not even involved in litigation. So it's just so weird to me, man. It's very weird. So him and another of other super lawyers or whatever started to talk on Twitter a lot. Now it seems like at the period of time we're at now, a lot of those law Twitter people and super lawyers kind of aren't as active anymore. Now, to be fair, I don't really pay that much attention to them because they just tweet too much, especially Greg. Greg, there's some times where he'll tweet like 400 tweets a day. And get this, if you look at his tweets, I haven't found a single tweet of his that's not from a mobile phone. This dude will tweet hundreds of times a day, sometimes over 400 times. And I've looked at a lot of the tweets. I haven't seen one that's not from mobile phone. So the dude is sitting there like...
Who has time for all that?
I know, right? I
don't know if the tweet is from a phone and not a computer.
It says like from like mobile? Samsung or mobile or something. Yeah, on it.
Maybe I have my setting turned off because I never see that.
It's crazy. I was thinking like at least this dude must be at the office. Like in my mind, when I found out this guy and like how often he tweets, I just had this picture of like him in his office, like just being on Twitter all the time. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God.
He's on his phone.
Yeah, this dude's using his phone for all this stuff.
Dang.
I can't even. So that happened, and I don't know. He's not really done that much with the thread. I don't think it's really impacted that much. It did give Kick Vic somewhat of a little rally toward this latter period. Because way back in like January, February, March, Kick Vic was way more energized and doing well. and now they're kind of been taking L after L after L. So they tried to basically recharge Kick Vic with these super lawyers. Apparently, some VAs from Rooster Teeth are kind of taking credit for bringing them in or something. I'm just going to say allegedly, apparently. But yeah, Shannon McCormick, if I recall, there's a tweet out there. He's a VA for Rooster Teeth. Apparently, he was taking credit of bringing Greg into this stuff. So that's that. We're almost all caught up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Did you have any comment on the super lawyers?
I don't see the point, like what makes them relevant. That was one of my biggest things when I was watching the streams and the depositions. I'm just like, I think about it and I'm just like, this sounds very childish. Like, oh, let me pull up this tweet. Let's go through and how just, oh my God, the hours of I do not recall if I made that tweet. I'm like, oh, I don't recall if that's my Twitter name. I'm like,
oh my God, yeah, like, dude.
If you were saying this shit to my mother, you would have gotten backhanded, grounded. Oh my, I'm just like, he's lucky that the justice system does not work the way my mother did, because he would have gotten the shit beat out of him the way that he was speaking. And I'm like, I know like nowadays they're like, oh, you can't like hit your children.
You know, he's the kind of guy that probably would try to hit back, right? Did you know about that?
Oh yeah. I heard about that. We haven't even gotten to that stuff back. Yeah. But when I'm listening to it, you know, because I think about what would happen if I was in this situation. You know, I always try to see it. And I usually try to be as unbiased as possible, but listening to that, it's like, oh my God. But his excuses for things and the excuses everyone makes, I'm like, why is this why is this in court? Why are we going over a thread of tweets to a court hearing? When I think of a judge, I think of, you know, older, you know, either, you know, an older man or an older woman, and very stern and kind of take no bullshit from you. And if you've ever been in a court, you know, in court and you've had to deal with judges, they will shut you down the second you kind of step out of place. And so listening to him and listening to all the evidence, and I'm like, there is no evidence. When I think of going to court, I'm like, okay, they got fingerprints, they have video or photo documentation, they have text messages between, like, if sexual harassment, you know, maybe Vic sent messages to these women, maybe they have text before they met up, they can at least prove the hotel dates, they can show, here are my receipts from going to this hotel, from going to this convention.
Mind if I stop you for a sec? No, you make a good point about like text messages and stuff, because I mean, like, if Vic was I don't know, I would assume if Vic is as like shadily trying to get with as many women as they're like implying, certainly there would be some sort of text where he was making implications or flirting or maybe sending graphic images. I don't know, but there's got to be something somewhere, right? But we're yet to see.
And not a single person has provided a shred of evidence, except the one incident that I guess people can back up is that Monica says that Vic touched her hair. It's like, okay. And his explanation was like, yeah, Monica used to be a hairdresser. She was always changing her hair. And, you know, I'm one of those people that I can't stand it when, you know, people touch me. I'm not a hugger type of person. If I go to meet someone, like, yes, you know, depending on the situation, I'll hug them or I'll shake their hand. I'm actually more so leaning towards I'd rather hug someone than shake their hand, because I don't know what happened in the last like 5 years, but whenever people shake my hand now, it's like they squeeze the life out of my hand. I'm like, ah!
Start going to fist bump.
Well, I'm a little person, so I you know, we've never met in person, but I always tell everyone I'm a hobbit. I'm very small. Really? And so when I went to Star Wars Celebration, I'm meeting all these people. And even, you know, when I, you know, was in college and I would go to like, you know, interviews or, you know, go to events for, you know, art stuff. And, you know, you meet people, everyone always squeezes my hand like it's a stress ball. And I'm like, ah. So now in my defense, I'm like, oh, I'll just like wave or I'll say like hi or, you know, hug. But I know that there's people out there that are, you know, it's part of their personality to be kind of outgoing and like touching hair and stuff.
Yeah, you make a good point, actually. I've brought up similar on my show, actually. I'm kind of the same in terms of like not liking being touched at all, really. Yeah, I've literally said the same thing. Like I'm that same way. I don't really like being touched like that. I don't know. But even so, I wouldn't hold that stuff against Vic. I mean, and there's expectations sometimes when you're going in very public areas, especially where you might have like thousands of people at a convention, that there's gonna be interactions like that. Like, it can't be helped sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I can understand. You know, she changes her hair. They've known each other for like 10 plus years. It's not like he just met this woman. He comes up and he starts like putting his hand through her hair, saying, "Oh, I love your hair." No, this is somebody that he's known for 10 years, that he's worked with for. I think at that time it was 10 years, but I mean they've been working together for what, 20 years now. Something
like that.
I feel like that's.
I don't think she was in there for 20 years, but it's definitely around
over a decade. He's known somebody for over a decade. You know, that doesn't seem like it's not like he's walking up and grabbing her boob. He's literally touching her hair.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much what it was. Like I like your hair or something. Like,
yeah, that's something that. I mean, I know when I saw my mom, I just recently saw my mom for something again. My mom's had a pixie cut ever since I was a little girl. My mom has hair down to here now, and I was like, holy crap, mom's got long hair. You know, it's more than like a centimeter long, and I touched my mom's hair. It's not
ask for consent,
people, but you know, my mom's not going to say I sexually harassed her because I touched her. Well, also it's my mother, but still, it's stuff like that where I'm like, okay, but work environment. Okay. If that was a problem, she should have like made it right then. She could have just said, "Hey, dude, like don't touch my hair," like, you know. Simple.
Yeah, if I recall, that was in a hotel lobby too. I think that one was with Marky. Yeah, if I recall, that was the Marky allegation, and the Monte Criollo one was like he invited her to the hotel room, tried to make advances on her. She ended up on the bed. She left, and then she cited. This is actually really relevant. She cited Stan Dolan, who's actually going to be on Tug's show tomorrow, so that's going to be awesome.
And everyone Tug's the link to Tug's channel. It's that umbrella guy. So whenever we say Tug, we're referring to that umbrella guy. His channel, the link to it is in the description below.
Sick. So yeah, so Stan Dolan will be on that show, so that's going to be great. But Stan Dolan's involved because Monica decided to cite him as a witness in her affidavit. And I'm just going to be safe here and say, or something like that. You know, I'm just being safe, guys. And she said, allegedly, Stan witnessed her exit the hotel room. Stan came forward shortly after he found out that he was name dropped in the affidavit, basically said he doesn't really know about that. And he then made it his own affidavit, if I recall, where he denied that entire situation happening. So she cited him, and he denies even knowing about that situation. So that's a horrible look. So the Marky story doesn't have that much weight to it. The Monica story, the witness she cited doesn't even remember it. And yeah, it's just crazy. Like we've been saying throughout the show, there's a massive lack of evidence. Mm-hmm. And it's like, not only is there a massive lack of evidence, we look at the other side and they shady, ruining conventions, making fake swattings, going after the fans, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And that leads us pretty much to almost the Funimation leaks. You've been following that at all?
Not really. No.
Okay. Before we put Funimation on blast here,
you were doing, I think I saw part of it. I clicked in at the end. I think maybe it was you or it was someone else, but I think it was listening to those people make fun of Vic.
Yeah, Ricada played the audio on his show, so if you heard the audio, it might have been his. I did do a stream about it, but I did not play the audio on mine.
Okay, yeah. I heard some of the audio where they're like impersonating Vic and saying.
Oh, that one I did play on my stream. Yeah, that was not a part of the what we're calling Funimation leaks, though. That was actually, I don't know what was that thing like. That was a little. I don't even know why they would make that. I don't know what to even call that. You know what I mean? Because like, what exactly was that? Just a video they made to shit on Vic, basically.
Yeah.
I literally don't know what to even call that thing. But yeah, for the viewers, she's referring to a video where I played the audio on my show the other day. It had like Sean Schemmel and Sonny Strait acting to be who you can reasonably assume is Vic, and they're just painting him out to be like a pedo.
Yeah.
And just making him sound like a scumbag. And they're like making this video, and they actually recorded it and then like posted it.
And it's like,
yeah, and why? And then
it's like the self-awareness is just not there.
It's really not. And then all these years later, like that is pretty telling with what's going on now. They're claiming Vic does these things, but then they're making videos like that, like it's a giant game. And if they really thought he was a pedo and stuff like that, and they never tried to stop him from going to conventions and things like that, which actually was brought up by Chuck Huber, who's another voice actor. We read his affidavit recently that came out, and Huber brings that point to the table. He alleges that he's heard some of these voice actors and other associates of Funimation disparage Vic behind the scenes quite often, and even people like Sabat, he alleges, had said that Vic is like a pedophile, but then that he had no issue like keeping Vic going to conventions and interacting with young fans, minors, and stuff like that. So if they really were concerned about it, where was the real concern about it? You know, it seemed like they were just taking shots at the guy. So the vibe that I've been getting, and I've been saying this from the beginning, a lot of people have also agreed with this, and now this vibe pretty much like literally confirmed now, and that is the case where Vic was just very successful doing his own thing. And they didn't like him for that, plus some other reasons they might not have liked him, like his opinion on things, his faith, things like that. So
what does that have to do with anything, though? Because at least for me, when I go to work, or, you know, when I was in college and I was going, you know, in and working with people, because now everything I do, my job has always been from home ever since I graduated college. It's like, you know, that one of the perks of, you know, being an artist, you have your Cintiq in front of you. But you know, that's something that you don't talk about. You're not supposed to talk about, you know, your personal life, your religion, or politics. That's something that's like at work you do not talk about. So how does that have? Because people have said that they're like, oh well, he's religious or this, and I'm like, but he's doing a voice act, like he's a character actor. He does voices. What on earth does that have anything to do? Are you offended? Maybe he wears like a cross. I'm assuming he's from the South. So I'm assuming I heard he was like Baptist or something.
I don't know exactly what his religion is. I
think I heard that he was Baptist, but I could be wrong. But you know, what does that have to do with anything? Why are people?
For some reason, I was thinking he's Christian. I don't know if he might have grown up in a. Yeah, I don't want to say. I don't know. He's on that part of things, though. You know, but you're right. It shouldn't be brought up. It shouldn't be in the workplace. But they continue to bring it up. It seems.
Well, I mean, is he going to work like with a Bible saying you need to find Jesus? Is that what he's doing? Or
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know.
What's your argument? Because I haven't heard a single thing. I hear everyone saying, "Oh, it's because he's religious," or what's the other thing? Politics. I don't even know his politics. I've been trying to follow this. Not once have I heard anything about his politics except people saying religion and politics. I'm like, but what are those stories? What is he doing?
The politics thing only comes into play very recently in the filing. I think it was Huber. This one I really do forget. I think it was Huber. But apparently they were also talking down to him because he's allegedly, now this is not from him, this is from an affidavit, so but allegedly he's a Trump supporter and they didn't like that. So
okay.
But it's not like, I don't think Vic, I've never heard Vic really talk about politics. I've never really seen him like get very active in politics or anything like that. So I mean, the vibe I get personally is that he doesn't really delve too much into politics, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. But the point is, these people were going behind the scenes, making these remarks for many, many years. But Vic is successful. So I think they didn't like his success, and they were kind of dealing with that by just talking smack about him for many years. And it got to the point where they finally saw a way to remove him from the industry because the Me Too movement, and then maybe the seeds were being planted long enough with like this Tumblr blog and the nonsense they were posting and stuff like that, that they ended up seeing an opportunity to try to finally get Vic out instead of just making fun of him. They saw an opportunity to maybe ruin his career, maybe ruin his life, maybe he would take his life, and they did that. They did that to him, and it didn't go very well. It did not go as well as I thought it would, because now 7 months later, we're finding more and more stuff out about them. And here's what's really ironic. I was going to bring this up earlier when we were talking about evidence. What's so ironic is not only are we, over this period of time, not seeing evidence come out from Kick Vic, over this period of time, we're seeing evidence come out supporting our side, like inadvertently. For example, recently there was a situation where a voice actor, I forget his name, he alleged that Vic and another voice actress named Mary Lijma, the three of them were doing a panel together, and said something like, before the panel, Mary went up to him and said that, him being the voice actor, it's not Vic, the guy whose name I'm forgetting, said that Mary went up to him and said that she wasn't comfortable around Vic or something like that. So when they were taking seats at the table for the panel, Vic went to sit next to Mary, and he was like, no, you're sitting on this side. And then he says like Vic just laughed it off and went to sit down, but he got Vic to sit on the other side. And then Vic never talked to him since. and then said like Mary Lishma was very grateful to him. This is paraphrased, my take on the story, but the information's out there, guys. It's on Twitter. You can find it. It's not that far off from what I just said. Well, turns out there is actually a video of that panel. Don't think he knew about that, because when we look at the video of the panel,
it's not true, is it?
Literally the opposite. It's most of the interactions at that panel are like Vic and Mary. And let me redact that really quick. I don't know if there was a video. There's pictures of the panel. Pictures. Multiple pictures. But in the pictures, Vic is sitting next to Mary, not on the other side of the guy. And in a number of the pictures, like most of the pictures, Vic and Mary are very close, and they're like laughing and smiling. It's like, and in one of the pictures, it's so funny. It's Vic and Mary laughing and smiling, and the dude who made these claims is like on the other side of the table. Like, yeah, he's literally like arms crossed. Like,
jealous.
Yeah, I think so. So that's just one example. Like, this guy comes out with some nonsense. In my opinion, it's nonsense, and then it gets disproven with evidence. Is it really that hard for you guys to get evidence if you're going to claim this stuff? I mean, it shouldn't be, unless you're just being a scumbag and lying and making these things up. You know?
I mean, anytime I hear like the stories that they tell about Vic, I'm like, okay, prove it. Where's the evidence? And I think you said it earlier, you know, it's really like a bunch of witch trials, and it really does. It makes me think of that play I had to read in high school, the Crucible, where it's like everyone's just proclaiming that this person is a witch. A lot of people die, and then they realize, oh, you know, innocent until proven guilty. Nobody here was a witch, you know, and everyone just died for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And what's crazy is that analogy came up early on. I think it was a show way back in like March or so with Ricada and Ty. I think it was both of them on the show. And then they made a good point. I forget which one of them said this, but it's like the witch trials were even better than what's happening to Vic, because at least they actually had a trial, even though it was like a sham trial. At least they had that. Vic didn't even get that. It's just slaughtered by Twitter, you know?
I know. And I mean, I've been involved in Twitter battles. Now I just know, I say my tweet and I don't look at it for like minimum 4 hours, because by then it's done. And if you stop responding, it stops. But then sometimes, you know, you come back, and luckily there's like the mute and the block button. So like some people that just don't stop, because some people have absolutely no lives and just spend their entire lives on Twitter saying, you know, horrible things about people. And it's like, well, what are you going to get out of life just, you know, focusing on that? But with you know, I think what Vic on Twitter has like over 100K followers, if not more. And if you have that amount of a following, you're usually going to have, you know, quite a substantial amount of people that don't like you for whatever reason, you know, and that's normal. I know, you know, not everyone's going to like me. I know not everyone's going to like, you know, people that I like, but that's just how the world works. And there's nothing wrong with not liking someone if you have, you know, your valid reasons. But, you know, it's at the same time, it's like, please be an adult, but some people can't.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I really do. It's like the other day I had some guy in my chat who I think it was even yesterday. Yeah, it was like I think he was talking bad about me for a while. I remember the name, but I'm like, if he's criticizing me, it's fine, guys. I really don't mind. I mean, like, just leave him. But as soon as he started like negatively affecting it, like the viewing experience and going after the viewers, stuff like that, like that's not cool. That's not cool. So it's like, if this guy has a criticism for me, by all means, like I want to hear it. Like, say it. I'm not even going to ban you. Like this, I had this guy in my chat for like a week straight, didn't do anything. And the only reason he's banned now is because it was just, he was doing it so much that it was affecting the viewing experience. But yeah, I don't know, man. He was like coming to every stream, watching like the full stream. Like, if you don't like me, what are you doing? Like,
I know.
Like a dedication, man.
I'm always just like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's that easy. Like it's like me with Watchmen. I fucking hate Watchmen. I haven't watched it since 2012 because I don't want to put myself through that hell. And you know, I don't go out of my way to watch and just sit there and be like, oh, I hate this. I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't watch it. But some people do the opposite, and because it's Twitter and you have that platform where you can tweet at anyone, people, you know, really want their voices to be heard. And it's one thing to be like, hey, you know, what's going on with this? Like, maybe, you know, there are people that don't like Vic. Be like, hey, Vic, you know, I don't like you. I heard all these things about you. Is it true, kind of thing? Whereas everyone is just like, no, you're a pedophile, you're a rapist. And it's like, well, prove it, because you can't. You know?
Yeah, they never reply or they block you. Let me open my window really quick. It's right here. I don't know if this will really help. Probably not. There we go. A little better. It's a little better. I was just trying to get some more lighting in here. It's getting dark. Getting dark now. But yeah,
sun's going down.
That takes us up to pretty much the Funimation leaks. So I'll explain that before we do. Before we put Funimation on blast, though, we got to take a moment to acknowledge Rooster Teeth. So Rooster Teeth decided to raise prices somewhere around the time period of after Law Twitter got involved to where we're at now. So Rooster Teeth, they were already getting criticism for the way they handled the Vic thing. And then they just criticism because the shows that they are running, they're not going a direction the community likes. Some people like it, a lot don't, though. So they've been having criticism for a number of things. And then they decided to raise prices recently. And they had a ton of backlash over that. And it seems like they're not acknowledging it, really. And they're
prices for what exactly? Because from my knowledge of them, they're a voice dubbing company.
Well, they do dubbing, yeah. But I think only really for their shows. They do like they're like a media company. Like they produce web series and shows and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like kind of like a streaming service then.
Kind of, but they like produce their own shows and that sort of thing. They have they're owned now by Warner Media and AT&T. So they got bought out a while back. But it's just funny.
AT&T?
Yep.
So I help pay for them.
I guess so, a little bit. Can't be helped though. I guess it's all good. Yeah, they raised prices on their first membership, which is, I guess you can pay monthly to get certain benefits, but the benefits have been getting less and less is what people are saying, really. And now they raised the price anywhere from 20% to 300%. The 20% increase is only if you buy a single month. So if you buy like 2 months, it's 20% and another 20%. So the 20% is not a good deal. That's literally for 1 month. So, you do 10 months, that's going to be 20% times 10. So it's not like a 20%, which is way better because, you got to factor that in. So they raise the prices. They don't really offer any more incentive. They get a lot of backlash for that. So it's just kind of funny because Rooster Teeth, was kind of involved with this whole thing. Not kind of. They certainly were involved to an extent. And some of their VAs were even disparaging people too. So, it's just kind of interesting seeing that come full circle. Rooster Teeth aside now, though. So we have the Funimation leaks.
Okay.
Actually, one more thing right before that. So there was a signing event at Times Square. A very successful event where Vic was in Times Square, New York.
Yeah, I think I saw about that. So every time I see Vic now posting stuff on his Twitter, it's like little videos, and he's so excited to meet people because I can imagine, you get all this hate, you get all this, you get exiled from all the places where you normally go, and now it's like a really big deal when he is allowed to go to conventions and is allowed to go to these events. And wasn't that for a video got released where he was kind of talking to everyone saying like thank you for coming and like over this. Yeah,
there were a few clips from that, and that was one of them.
Yeah, he's so grateful and so like appreciative of everyone that's supporting him. And it's like he could be this diva person that everyone pinned him as like a complete asshole and just be like cynical about everything and I hate the world because of what's going on. But no, he's just like on the verge of tears when he's talking to you, and he's just so grateful that there's people there that are supporting him.
Yeah,
and
he's very humble. He'll even say like anytime he makes an appearance, he's just hoping and praying that people show up.
Yeah.
Even though we know people are going to show up.
Yeah, I saw
like,
those videos. Wasn't it Tug that did like the line, and it's like hours long?
Yeah, that was great.
I was like, oh my god, that's longer than Disneyland. It's
crazy, man. Yeah, you got to wait hours some of those lines to meet Vic. So I mean, he definitely brings attendance for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's like you see him spend all those hours signing. I mean, at KamehamehaCon, I think he was signing for like 12 hours straight, and he only got to use the restroom. I think that was what the story was.
Somebody said, I emailed Vic and wished him a happy birthday. He emailed me back the next day. I was surprised. Wow.
See that? So it's crazy. He spends so much time, interacting with the fans in person. He really has quite an extensive convention schedule. Most VAs don't go to as many conventions as this guy does. And then even when he's not at the conventions, he's reading the emails and replying. So, if these people want to argue that like Vic is putting on a persona or something, well, first of all, I don't get that vibe. And second of all, if he really was just putting a facade on at conventions and stuff, why would he also spend so much of his own personal time when he's not getting paid for that. You know, he's getting paid at a convention. He's not getting paid when he's at home looking at emails and replying to emails. And I'm sure this guy must get so many emails. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But he's sitting
after
there,
everything that's happened, it must be exploding.
Yeah, he's sitting there reading them, replying to them when he can. So I do think keep it responsible on the stovetop since hey, my stove. That's actually funny. My stovetop today. Well, it was I was trying to clean out my pan and I left it in the sink for a second, then it tipped over and water got out. It was a long story, but
oh no.
Hey, but thank you for that. Okay, so
the other day I was streaming and I heard a noise and I was like, "What the hell just happened?" And I had a cat, but then my cat he passed away, so I got 2 cats.
Oh, nice.
And so I didn't know one of them was in here, but he just woke up and he's crawling around on my feet. But they love my bathroom, especially my toilet. They keep falling in. And I'm just like, cats are supposed to hate water, but these cats, like, and so my bathroom, the way it's like the sink and then it's the counter, but then there's a little, like a tiny, like, you know, just like about 2 inches of a ledge that goes over like where the toilet is. Yeah. And so that's where like my boyfriend keeps his cologne and I have like my lotion and then like I have like one of those little candles and it was lit. And the cat was trying to play with the flame, but she was like standing on like the tiny kind of the top of the toilet, the whatever that box is that's over the toilet.
And trying to get like up to the shelf that was a little bit above it.
Yeah, she's trying to get to the ledge and like play with the flame, and she knocked over the candle and it broke, and her and the candle both fell in the toilet. And then she tried to get out of the toilet, and her foot, like when she's trying to like get out, she flushed it.
No! Oh my god!
So the broken glass and like parts of the candle was like clogging the toilet, and she got out. Like she was still like half her body.
Thank God! Yeah.
But then my toilet started overflowing and flooded my bathroom floor.
In the middle of a live stream?
I was in the middle of a stream on my friend's channel, and I ran out, and I was like, and of course, my boyfriend wasn't home, and he's usually the one that takes care of that kind of stuff. So I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, it's too late. My dad's sleeping. I can't call him. This is like a boy's job. I don't know how to do any of this. So they talked me through it, but that was not fun.
It flooded the whole room?
It flooded the bathroom. And then I found out my bathroom isn't leveled because everything went like in one direction.
How did you clean that up?
Lots of towels.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
like, that's and to like dry it.
That's crazy. I'm glad the cat didn't flush himself though. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that was a heck of a story. Yeah. I didn't think we'd beat the nightmare dream story, but I think that might have. So, all right. So the long story short, with the New York signing event, KickVic did try to ruin that event. They tried to get the original venue canceled. There was a shift in venue, but not for those reasons. They tried to take credit for it, but no, it was simply because the new venue was better venue and more time for signing, and it worked out. Massive success. So that was another example of the failings of KickVic. And now we have Funimation Leaks, which came out. Although, okay, before the Funimation Leaks, to be fair, there was the Ron Toy exposed stuff that came out, but you know about that.
God, okay, so tell everyone what happened.
Yeah, if you don't know about that, so Ron Toy, Monica Rial's fiance, apparently there has been
been really big about, he was like blasting Vic on Twitter, saying all these things, like what they had like over 100 pages of tweets that they were reading, like the lawyers during the deposition, which he couldn't recall, but he's just been blasting Vic this entire time, saying that Vic is a sexual predator, all these horrible things, and then what did we find out?
This guy has a history of abusing women, it seems, and also threatening to, I think his words were, chop your fucking dog up. So that's a bit awkward right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So from what I gathered, I think it was from when you were reading that story, he was married prior. For whatever reason, his wife was a stay-at-home wife. I think she was in school or something. And so he would use that he's the one that pays for everything over her head. And then I guess she had to go pick up her mother, and he wanted her to pick him up. Apparently Uber and Lyft and taxis weren't around, or, the fact that his 2 feet weren't around, or that concept was lost on him. But because she was going to pick up her mother, she's not going out, and going to like raves and stuff. She's picking up her mother. And even if she was going out to raves, who the freak cares? She's allowed to do whatever. And he threatened to chop off her dogs.
Yeah, I brought it up here so I get the Like this exact segment. It was this part of the affidavit. I don't have the whole thing up here. I wish I did, but no, this is just from the tweet I made. So we're missing a lot of context here. But this part reads, apparently, this is part of the statement. I'm just trying to talk this thing out, considering what you fucking did. And if you think poor you, how about I chop your fucking dogs up and see how you like it?
Yeah, so somebody that is saying that, we have evidence of him saying that, has been going around saying all of these things about Vic, saying that he's a sexual predator. And it's usually the person that cries the most, that makes the most noise, that throws the biggest tantrum. You know, really, dude? Really?
Yep. Crazy. Acts like he's some champion for women, cares so much about women, and Vic is this predator, and he alleges that, you know, I think he said anywhere from like, oh, there's 20 women coming forward, like there's 100 different women that will testify in court. All kinds of nonsense like that, roughly. Roughly.
When I was watching the deposition on Ron, and he's like, oh yeah, all of these women, and they're like, okay, Ty's like, can you name them? And he's like, I don't recall. And I'm like, motherfucker. If a woman comes up to you and tells you her rape story, if you don't have the decency to remember her fucking name, what kind of piece of shit are you? Because I know sure as hell, if somebody came up to me that I'd never met before and said, hey, I'm so-and-so, I need to confide in you this horribly traumatic thing that happened to me, you're going to remember their name. You know, you're going to remember. Because that's not something that you would forget. And yeah, he could use the argument of, oh, well, you know, 100 women came up to me. Telling you, you hear something dramatic like that, you're gonna remember.
I agree, man. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. That Ron Toy stuff is really something else. I mean, on that note, you know, we're talking about Toy. We talk about Marky really quick because she's involved in round 1 too. Like, it really ticks me off that they act like they're doing this right thing, standing up for victims. They act like they're standing up for victims, but I don't see them doing anything for victims. Actually, I see them making victims. I've seen them make victims. I've seen them do that, but I haven't seen them do anything to help victims. And even, you know, they will stand on their high horse and act like they're helping victims and all that stuff. Meanwhile, they're playing games. Like, going back to Marky, she was trying to make memes out of it, in my opinion. That's what kind of she was doing when she was getting served. She was like changing her Twitter handle to like running from the law, because she was trying to joke around about like avoiding the process server and stuff like that. And then they recorded like I forget who. I think it was Marky, Real, and Dominique Sky. Dominique Sky is a cosplayer. She's pretty irrelevant to this whole thing, to be honest. But they recorded like a little clip at a convention saying something like 1, 2, 3 conspiracy or something like that. I don't know. They're just doing like these little games. I don't get it. How can they act like this is some serious thing and they're fighting for victims, but then they like joke around and they meme the legal process and they like do these things? I don't get it. I think it comes down to, just lies and being insincere, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and also they don't take anything seriously. I think that a lot of people, they don't understand like the severity of the things that they're saying or the situations that they're causing. And I mean, it has to do a lot with, I think that we live in a different time now where everything is so virtual. And when you have to actually deal with real life things, like it makes me learn about these people that, you know, they haven't really had to deal with this kind of stuff. So when it does come up, they're like, oh yeah, you know, let me change my Twitter name to running from the law. It's like, you don't know what that means. You've never been in a serious like case before. You've never had to deal with, it makes me honestly think you've never had a hard day in your life if you're going to make fun of stuff like that, because if you had, you wouldn't be joking about this stuff. You wouldn't be, you know, crying wolf if you'd ever seen a wolf.
Yeah. It's really tacky. It really is. And it makes it so much worse that they act like they're doing the right thing. It really does. Toy Bounty Hunters, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Man, yeah, I guess Funimation Leaks. All right. So, yeah, apparently this audio was recorded at Funimation, apparently, where they had a number of the VAs allegedly in character saying any sort of remarks, stuff that was homophobic. They said some things, like they did a little like pedo skit even. They had one where Chi-Chi was having some sort of sexual relation with Gohan, who's her son. So that is not only like a pedo thing, that's like incest too. So they thought that was funny, apparently. So they did some skit with that. And then the long one, man, is like this 4-minute skit thing where I don't even want to describe it, to be honest. But it's just filled with a highly inappropriate skit regarding sexual acts between various characters. It's just disturbing. I don't think it's funny, to be honest.
Like anime characters?
Yeah, the characters from Dragon Ball. It's they're in character as like the characters they play from Dragon Ball specifically.
Okay, so it's like X-rated parodies of anime characters.
Yeah, talking about like get the sacred ointment and like bend over Yamcha. Like, oh my god.
Okay, so this is like their fan fiction of this stuff, but it's very inappropriate.
It's kind of like a very inappropriate fan fiction, exactly. And they even seem to have added audio to it because Bruce Faulkner, who did the music for Dragon Ball Z, a number of it, his music was somehow added to that little skit. So it's like, it seems like. Mm-hmm.
Is this recorded? Is this drawn? This?
It was recorded, but apparently was never released, and someone leaked it. Oh. Someone leaked it, and now they're on blast with that. And that was like 4 or 5 days ago that audio got out. So a few of them are short. There's a few.
April Fool's joke.
I don't think so.
Okay. And this is just something they weren't paid for. This is something that they did on their own time. All these voice actors.
Maybe they. I mean, they might have been getting paid for it. That's. I mean, with the way that their contracts are written out, they're kind of paid the work like annually.
Okay.
At least the ones that I've read. So I mean, like specifically paid for that, like no. But would that tie into their contracts and the fact that they're allegedly at Funimation dubbing that? I guess you can argue, yeah, they probably were getting paid for that technically. But what's weird to me is that Bruce Faulkner's music was on there because I don't think that was really cool of them to just add his music to the skit because that's like his name that's now involved with that. And he's not a VA or anything like that. He just did the music for it. So they took his music and added it to the skit. And now he's inadvertently dragged into this. Toei's intellectual property. These characters are dragged into this. And it's just very tacky. The remarks, some people might not find them offensive or not. Personally, I just find them very tacky, not funny, just highly cringy and just downright pathetic that they would like take it that far. Like I can understand like a bloopers and a little joke here and there, but to do like a 4-minute skit where it seems like they even wrote like lines for it, weird as shit. Excuse me, very weird in my opinion. Yeah, that
just tells me that because it's like I feel like we've all had like a job where we kind of just BS with our coworkers, but if you're gonna say shit about Vic and accuse him of that kind of stuff, yet you're over there making pornographic skits of animated characters. I mean, that you know, to each their own, whatever you want to do in your own bedroom, whatever. But if you're gonna put another person on blast and then go and do that, that's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, it's hypocritical, and it's definitely hypocritical in my opinion. Yeah, no way. I can't even do it. Yamcha. That's so funny. No way. Something like that. Oh my god. So they have these characters, acting out this whole skit, and I keep referring to it as a skit in my opinion because the other side argues like, oh, it's just bloopers, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, bloopers is you're recording,
outtakes,
Yeah, it's an outtake. It's like a little mistake in it. It's not like a 4-minute skit. That's really what it is, in my opinion, is a skit. It seemed like they even wrote a script for it. Like they knew what to say. Maybe they made that up on the fly, but if you told me there was a script, I would not be surprised at all. I'd be more surprised if they came up with that on the fly, the way it seemed premeditated. And they added the audio and all that. So it would be one thing if they never added the audio and they recorded it and then like deleted it after, maybe had a laugh. Like it still shouldn't have been done to begin with. But at least then they could have had a laugh out of it and they would have deleted it and none of this would have happened. But I like to bring up my argument that I think it's potential negligence because they made this skit that should not have happened. That skit damages Toei's intellectual property because it's now associating that IP with homophobic things, pedophilia, all these bad things that I'm not going to list off right now. And Goku is supposed to be the symbol of the Olympics coming up in Japan. And now that character is associated with this stuff. And this is Toei's intellectual property. Funimation has a responsibility not to damage that when they're licensing it. They're licensing it for business, not to make a joke skit that's going to damage the IP. So it shouldn't have happened to begin with, but it did. So at that point, they should have deleted it, but they didn't. So it was on their servers for I don't know how long. This thing could have been made 10 years ago. The other side, Kick Vic, says, this is very old audio. You shouldn't hold it against them. This is from like 10 years ago. My argument is that makes it worse. The fact that they recorded this and just left it there, and seemingly forgot about it shows how they did not take into consideration the intellectual property of Toei. And now, because of that negligence, someone leaked that and their IP is getting dragged through the mud now. So in my opinion, that just makes it worse.
Oh, I'd be furious. Especially since, like the first time I saw Dragon Ball Z, I was a kid. What if a kid sees this and thinks, oh, it's Dragon Ball Z, like, oh, it's the voice of, was one of the characters like Goku or something?
Yeah.
Okay. They hear Goku's voice and then they start hearing things and it's like, oh, what's that? And it's like, oh my God,
Yeah, it's definitely a bad look.
It's like Santa when he takes his beard off. It's like,
yeah, there goes all the magic. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. So it's a shame. And we'll see what's happening with that. That's kind of still developing. There's some rumors that Toei's getting involved now. Rumors with them maybe talking with Crunchyroll, maybe them talking to some of these VAs who were involved with this. There's some rumors about that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And that's kind of where we're at. Of course, I missed some things here and there.
Yeah, 7 months worth of stuff in our like little abbreviated time.
But you hopefully kind of get the idea of like how this started now with Hanleia and Mars Girl, Signal boosting it, these conventions that dropped him, and that played into him getting fired. The investigation which came out, which apparently just nonsense they found, in my opinion, nonsense. And then just the screwy stuff, some of the screwy stuff that's been going on throughout that.
I see some people saying the situation that we just talked about, that it's kind of funny. I guess, that always depends on your own kind of sense of humor. Like, I know personally, I have a very sarcastic sense of humor. I know not everyone likes sarcastic senses of humor. I know my mother didn't when I was growing up. But as far as how that situation had to do with what we've been talking about, it's like, imagine your coworker gets fired because everyone's saying that he's, a sex offender, that he's sexually harassing female coworkers, and then you find out that these other people that you've been working with did some very inappropriate pornographic audio skits with these characters years before, and they're the ones that are calling this person a sexual predator when he's done nothing like that whatsoever, that nobody has any proof of anything. So everyone in my chat that is, saying, oh, that's funny. Think about that in context. Imagine if you're in the situation where you're getting, called a sex offender, you lost your job's gone. You have no form of income now. You're getting banned from other places that you go to make appearances where that got fired from your job, but you can still go to conventions, you can still kind of make a little income while you're trying to figure out your life. That gets taken away from you too, all because people are saying these lies about you. And I'm going off the fact from everything that I have seen, I think everything, it might be some truth to it, but from what I've seen, there's no proof, there's no evidence. I don't believe it. When I hear Monica say, oh, he sexually assaulted me, that's not what sexual assault is. So when I hear that, I don't think that is true, what they are saying. And then for people that have done inappropriate stuff like that to say this about somebody where there has been no evidence. I think the only evidence that there is was that he asked twins to sleep with him and they said no, which I'm like, well, I feel like that's just a typical guy thing. Like, no offense to guys. I feel like that's just kind of like a thing that like is one of those all male fantasy type things.
Wait, what was it again? I was reading chat for a second. I better, before I'm nodding on that, I better
I heard a story where like he met some twins, like identical twins, and he asked if they wanted to sleep with him and they said no, and he's like, okay, fine.
Oh, we can talk about that a little bit. Yeah, so that's the Yost twins. I think that's what we're talking about. So the Yost twins, apparently, in their affidavit they said that they'd been friends, and paraphrasing this greatly, it's, my take on it. They alleged that like they were friends with Vic for a while, and they had his phone number and his email, and they would meet at conventions. And then out of nowhere, one convention he invited them up to his hotel room, and they thought it was just friendly because this guy, who's like double their age, would certainly not do anything, even though they were not minors. They were in their 20s at the time. So they went with him. They alleged that he made advances on like one sister and got denied. Then they made advances on the other sister and got denied. And then they like left and that's pretty much their story, roughly. Now, in the affidavit that Vic had made, if I recall properly, he mentioned something that they didn't mention in their affidavit, and that was that they were flirting with him. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, we're all humans. I'm assuming that there's no children in this chat. I guess it's 7. I guess kids are still awake, but still, I'm assuming that this is not the thing. Kids are going to click on like Minecraft stuff, and toy unboxing, not talk about Vic. But I don't know any adults that when you're in a situation like that. I'm assuming he's not just going to invite any random girls up to his hotel room unless he's very intoxicated. But usually there's kind of a process, and you kind of get the vibe for a person before you hit on them in that way. Especially with the job that Vic has, I'm sure he doesn't want to alienate people. So from everything that I've heard, I'm like, if situations like that, like I feel like there is some back and forth. Like if he said that they flirted with him,
let me make a very important distinction here too, that I should have said this a minute ago at the end of what I said. In the affidavit from Vic, not only does he say that they were flirting with him, he also denies he denies a lot of what they claimed he did. Yeah. Like the sexual advancing and stuff like that. I think maybe I really forget what he wrote entirely, but what he did say, it was like nowhere near that caliber. So let me just add that.
But usually when you get to that point, there's usually back and forth. It's not just one-sided. Unless like there's a lot of alcohol involved, usually people gauge other people's reactions to things before you make that next step. It's unless you're like 13 and you don't understand that kind of stuff because you haven't gotten to that level of adulthood yet. But yeah, so everything that they've said about everything, I'm like 2 + 2 isn't equaling 4. With all the kick Vic stuff and everything that they bring forth as evidence.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get something. Maybe, I don't know. Still waiting, kick Vic. We'll see about that. So the chat wants to talk about the casting couch. Definitely talk about that quick. So Chris Abbott, part of the leaks. Well, it wasn't necessarily part of the Funimation audio leaks, but it kind of ties in with that because there were some claims that I think it was in Huber's affidavit that you can get certain positions at Funimation for performing sexual favors with those in power. One in power allegedly is Chris Sabat. This was corroborated to an extent with some sort of Glassdoor reviews that were made months ago, years ago, something like that. So there's some Glassdoor reviews that talks about getting better positions at Funimation by doing such favors. The affidavit corroborates that a bit. Chris has denied such. But actually, I made a video today talking about a clip which was sent to me from the Doctor. Shouts out to him. He sent that yesterday, I think it was. And it's a clip of Colleen Klinkenbeard, who seems like she is actually on the Kickfix side.
Is that her real last name?
Yeah. I think. I don't know if she made that up.
That sounds like a stage name, but every time I hear that, I can't. Like.
I know. It's an interesting
I feel bad, but I'll feel bad if that's her real last name, like
Miss Klinkenbeard or something like that.
Continue.
Ty Beard has some competition with that one. So in this clip, Colleen Klinkenbeard says something along the lines of one of the first. I had this whole. I think I have a transcript here still. Oh wait, no, this is. I changed the transcript to my notes for this. I didn't say the transcript. Oh well. But she says something like one of her first experiences at Funimation at a panel because a guest asked her like, "Does any weird stuff happen at Funimation sometimes?" And she describes an event when I guess she was still relatively new at the company, where audio that she had recorded for one of the characters she was playing got taken. And she says at first it was some engineers, and then she was like, wait, I think it was Sabat that did this. Yeah, it's totally something Sabat would do, again, paraphrased. And she goes to allege that Sabat took the audio that she made. He then put it over like certain grunts and stuff that she made in the audio, put it over like audio of a bed going up and down, and then labeled it like a porn video or something like that. And she said that it was humiliating. Again, paraphrased. Oh, yeah. But that's pretty telling. And again, Colleen seems like she's in the Kickfit camp. But this footage came out from years ago where she was admitting to that happening and even said it was humiliating. So that kind of sticks out when you're seeing these audio leaks that they had recorded there allegedly. plus these stories about like sleeping with certain people in power, some maybe Sabbath, to get better positions. And there were also some allegations, I believe, in the affidavit from Huber, if I recall, where he even said like some of the VAs who had roles that were female that wouldn't do those favors were then recast. So yeah, Chris is facing some allegations with that right now.
It's like Harvey Weinstein all over again, but for voice acting.
It's such a rabbit hole, man. This whole thing turned into, it really did. Like they went after Vic, and now they're the ones getting exposed, and they're the ones having evidence come out against them. Isn't that ironic, right?
Well, I mean that's what happens. I mean, you want to, crucify one person, but then it's like, okay, but now that you were in the spotlight, guess what? Once they're done with that person, who's left? You. They're gonna find out everything about you.
Speaking of that, there is a document that was going around called like Fixing the Broken Staircases or something like that, where they had a whole list of people that they were going to go after. Now I don't know specifically who they are, but like hold up, I have a whole archive of this thing saved. Just pulling it up so I can kind of explain this a little bit better.
Gotcha. That's fine.
So it seems like some of these people wanted to go after Vic and then go after other people on this list. Now, to be fair, some of the people on this list might actually be guilty of some bad shit.
Take that with a grain of salt, everyone.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's a list of like, let me see here. It's got 80 names on it. So it's a list of 80 names. Although to be transparent, a few of those lists on the document are taken up with like the description of it. So I guess it's more like 76 names. Vic was number 6. It starts on number 4. Interesting. Yeah, so that's something as well.
Can you name off any of those or no?
I mean, I can name some of them. For example, one of them on this list is Ryan Koff, who I was looking into. His story is interesting.
Who is that? Or what character does he voice?
Apparently, he was just convention staff, and they have him listed on this for, they say, alleged misconduct, officially reporting rapist, serving alcohol to minors, physical violence against vendor. Here's what they say about Vic on this list. Alleged misconduct for Vic, sexual misconduct with minors, physical boundary violations, verbal and physical sexual harassment, homophobia, anti-Semitism.
Lovely.
Yep.
Well, something that I've noticed about all of this, like whenever the Kick Vic people, they have someone or, let me name drop this person. Then I see that, you've already done it twice. I know one was not on air, but, that one guy that you said Monica was using as, he was my witness. But then that other girl that they were trying to use as their story, like she refused to work with Vic. And then I saw, you guys can go see this on his channel. He did an interview with this one woman that worked with Vic at a convention. And she said everything that they said about her, is taken out of context and bunched up to make it.
Yeah, she was awesome to come forward with that information. That was something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy
It makes me question everything on the list, because it's like, is that real or is it fake? Because everything that I've seen from Vic doesn't seem real. What you've told me about it, Chris Sabbath, is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything that I'm hearing about that, I'm like, I feel like there's enough evidence to back that stuff up. But sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're right. It's definitely shady. Now, Quentin in chat did say Chris Neosi admitted his allegations. Chris Neosi is on this list, so he might be guilty. So Chris Neosi, it says, is a convention guest and just industry, involved with the industry somehow.
He's a guest. He's not like a voice actor.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Apparently just involved with working at conventions and stuff like that. One of these guys, I'm trying to remember, maybe it was Ryan Koff. I think it was. Like, I was doing a stream like a month ago, and we ended up finding this entire list of allegations against someone whose name is on this list, and I forget who it was. And there was actually pretty damning evidence against that person. So that's why I'm saying I think, maybe some of the people on this list are actually guilty. Okay. I mean, it's a list of like 70 names, so it's maybe some of them are actually guilty. And apparently some of them have already been caught, it sounds like. So
damn, 70 people.
Yeah.
70.
And I'm being a little, lowballing a little bit. I guess it would be 74.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
And it's all within this one tiny little industry.
Oh, Twiz says it was cough. Hey, Twiz, you're on that show? Hey, man, you got a good memory then if that's what you're talking about. That's what's up. Thank you.
Cop? That's the last name?
Koff, I guess. Yeah, Ryan Koff. So, yeah, the evidence I found against him, I don't want to come out and say one way or the other he's guilty about something. I like to play it safe for that, especially when it's something I looked up like a month ago and I don't remember exactly what I looked up. But yeah, what I did find about him was pretty convincing, in my opinion. So I'll just say that. But yeah, man, this stuff is extensive, as you can see. Like that whole list thing, I didn't even remember that until like just now, bringing that up.
Well, it's one of those things that it's just a domino effect. One thing happens, and then you want to set this off. You want to whatever vendetta they had against Vic, and then it's like, okay, well, Vic's dominoes down. Now your dominoes down. Then yours. Then yours. Then yours. Then yours. And it's coming full circle. I feel like. And you said that something is on Friday.
So that's going to be the hearing for the TCPA.
What's that?
The TCPA is the Texas Citizens Participation Act. It's the anti-SLAPP in Texas, and that is used to dismiss frivolous lawsuits usually being leveled against parties to try to stop them from speaking out or sharing their opinion. For example, let's make a hypothetical. Like if I was making videos and posts saying Apple sucks and I don't like Apple, and then they suddenly hit me with a litigation, and then like maybe another litigation, like they just overwhelm me to try to get me to shut up.
Yeah.
Even if what I'm talking about actually has merit, some of these people that have a lot of money or some of these companies with a lot of money, they would use litigation to try to silence their critics or people that are dissenting or whatever, right? So then the anti-SLAPP was created to try to defend people's right to free speech and public participation. So that's what that's about. And the hearing for that's on Friday. But again, I think we'll have 30 days for the judge to make a ruling on that. So we'll see what happens. So obviously,
Sorry. So that is for Vic. So what will happen if, like, moving forward, if he wins that, what happens? If he loses, what happens?
Right. So, yeah, that's what I was going to get into. So the Vic is not the one doing the TCPA. That's the other side. That's Funimation, Real, and Toy. They have the same TCPA, and then Marquee. So there's 3 TCPAs, Funimation, one for Real and Toy, and one for Marquee. Now, there is I think there's a little bit of a gray line there. If the TCPAs pass, I have to clarify this, but I was under the impression that they could still go after them for the other causes of action, because the TCPA should really affect the defamation, but not like, for example, the text messages that Slaytosh has, where there was in my opinion, clear tortious interference. The TCPA shouldn't dismiss that, but that's really a subject that would be better for a lawyer to talk about. So not too sure how the nitty-gritty on that would work, because again, some of these causes of action really don't seem relevant to the TCPA. So I would imagine that they could still go after them for that. But that said, that possibility aside, if the TCPAs pass for the defendants, there can still, be appealed and things like that, or another round of suits. So it's not the end all if their TCPAs do pass, and maybe some will pass and maybe some won't, or maybe none of theirs will. In my opinion, the person who has the best chance of getting their TCPA to pass is Jamie Markey. I think it looks like Ron Toy and Monica Real are pretty screwed on that, in my opinion. And Funimation is looking pretty screwed too, in my opinion, because of that vicarious liability, which is used to attach Ron and Monica as representing Funimation. So that's kind of bringing them in, kind of keeping them in there. So it's looking great for Funny, Monica, and Ron. If anyone has a good shot, maybe it's Markey. So we'll see. Yeah, so that's Friday. But again, probably 30 days for the decision. Some period between then and 30
Have
days.
they announced when the trial's going to be for Vic? Because are they going to court after those depositions?
So they're going to have to see what happens with the TCPA, I guess. Okay. Unless I'm wrong about that. But as far as I understand, yeah, that's really the next step. We need to see what happens with that. If the lawsuits get dismissed, then again, maybe they can appeal for other causes of action and things like that. I don't think it'll take 30 days either. It seems like this judge specifically seems pretty on the ball and down to business. I think he'll probably want to make a decision as quickly as possible.
I think it's getting a lot of traction. They're gonna really, you know.
But just to clarify, for I don't exist, the 6th is the hearing, but the judge has time to make a decision. He's got 30 days, so don't necessarily expect news on Friday right away. I mean, you know, let me rephrase that. We'll probably get news on Friday because some of our people, I believe Rikeda himself, is trying to go there. So we'll probably have news on Friday about how the hearing went, but we might not know the actual decision on the 6th. So probably some news, but not like the bottom line yet.
That's where we are up to with this entire thing and this process. And I mean, I know I'm not a lawyer. I am, to my best of my knowledge, you are not a lawyer. So it's like we just kind of have to sit back and watch. That's why it's kind of informative to have somebody like Nick Rikeda involved with all of this, because he is a lawyer, and that's when he goes through the depositions, he like stops to explain things. And I'm just like, thank you. Like, explain it to me like I'm a kindergartner, please. Like, there's even this stuff, like, I'm still slightly confused about it, but I feel like I'll re-Google everything and, like, you know, it'll click eventually. But there's just so many different aspects when you're dealing with, like, law stuff. And it's like, why are there so many rules? But they're there for a reason, so.
It's fun. Yeah, it's interesting looking at all that stuff and trying to learn about it. And at least we're doing that, you know, because Kick Vic. I think the call just dropped. I think. Can you hear me, Anna? What happened? What happened, guys? I don't know if I'm I think she froze. Am I still live? Did the stream drop? She's gone, but I'm here. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Dude. Okay, I'm gonna send her a message right now, guys. Don't worry. I'm still live apparently on her channel. That's very awkward. I just sent her a message, and let's see what happens. Let's give it a few minutes here, guys. So, what did you guys think about that recap so far? I sent a message over to her. I'll let you guys know what happens ASAP. And if she doesn't come back in a few minutes or so, I definitely don't feel comfortable streaming on her show without her. So let me put that out there. I think I see Jeremy in there. She'll be back. Give her a minute. Okay, cool. So in the meantime, let's assume she's coming back in a few minutes, guys. What did you think about the recap so far? I'm the new That Star Wars girl. No, I'm certainly not. But I don't mind co-hosting for a little bit here. That was pretty interesting. Oh, there she is in chat. Says, I don't know what happened. This must be so weird for her now to just see me on her channel live. Oh my goodness. I hope you make it back in the call very quickly. Oh man. Hey Jim, I don't want to be dragged into litigation, man. That's not fun. Marcelo, it was good, very detailed. Hey, heck yeah. Thank you, man. She's trying to fix it. Okay. All right. Hopefully she can just rejoin this call. Maybe, wait, do I need to send her an invite? Let's see, is there a way to do that? I've never used a program that she's using, so I don't necessarily know how that would work. Say car video. Yeah, man. That's all you, man. Funimation cutter call. Man, I don't know. There's always something sketchy with some of these streams sometimes. On my stream the other day, it starts lagging out of nowhere. It's like so sketchy. We need a car video. So Anna, do you need me to send you something from here? Is there a way for me to give you the link? Or yeah, man, Jim Johnston. Thank you, bro. I'm glad you understand. Yeah, I wouldn't leave you guys hanging. Absolutely not. So hopefully it'll be okay. IStandWithVic has the Chad Nick, while KickVic has the Soy Law Twitter. Well said. Funny how Soy Law Twitter kind of rhymes with Soy Latte, by the way. I can get in. Okay, cool. So she says she can get in. She should be back any minute. Internet just randomly rebooted. Got it. Okay. Great. I'm doing all right, man. I'm going to use this opportunity to get some water, actually, which I have right here. So there we go.
All right, I'm back.
Nice. I was just getting some water. Welcome back. That was
Right.
that was something.
Yeah, this has happened to me before with StreamYards. We're at 2 hours and like 30 minutes. It's happened before, so I don't know what it is. It like my screen will just stop, and it does the white, and then it'll say, it cannot connect to this, and then I think it's one of those things that it's trying to prompt you to pay for their service. I'm doing the free
that might be it.
And it'll kick me out for like 5 minutes, and then I have to redo everything, and it slows down my computer really, really badly. And so I just
you could stop there. It's really not your fault. It's Nick Ricada's fault. You see, anytime there's tech problems, it's just something. He's a great assistant to IStandWithVic, but my God, he destroys all our technology. It's really a shame.
Well, now it's fixed, so now I'm back. The only problem with it now is like my little chat is really slow, so let me pull it back because all of my windows closed. So give me a second, guys, to pull everything back up so I can actually see the chat.
That's a good idea. Oh, I wanted to mention, I don't know exactly what I saw, but right before that happened, like something on my stream with something on my monitor that StreamYards is up, something over there, like I don't know, happened.
Glitched or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's important.
Yeah, StreamYards is weird. That was probably when I got booted out, so it probably did like a little pop up or something.
Yeah, it might have like refreshed for a second, but you were still there.
Mine refreshed too. Like
okay.
At first, I could hear everything you were saying, and you couldn't hear me, and then your screen went black, and then my screen went black, and then everything turned gray. And so I opened up my phone so I could hear to see if the stream was still up. It's one of those things. Technology does not like me.
Well, it's okay. Again, it's not your fault. Someone else's. So
somebody else's fault. It's not mine. I didn't do it. Wasn't me.
Man.
Yep. What were we talking about before all hell broke loose?
Yeah, what were we talking about? The casting couch thing. I think we talked about that. Talked about the list. That spreadsheet with all the names on it. Yeah, chat. Well, did we hit everything? We hit the casting couch stuff. I think we hit everything you guys were adding on there at the end. I don't know, guys.
Maybe we should talk about like what is the goal for Vic? Like after he wins because he's been fired. All of this, his name's out there. He has this, even if he I'm being optimistic. I'm pretty sure he's going to win this just because the lack thereof evidence, that everything surrounding the situation, the longer it goes on, the worse it looks on the Kick Vic side. But even if he wins, there's still going to be that stigma in some people's heads that aren't paying attention that, oh, that guy did that or that guy did that. So what is the goal of all of this? He's suing, I believe, Monica and Ron, and for everything like defamation of character, for Funimation, for firing him for all these cons, for breach of contract. So in game, has he made public what he wants? Like what are his plans moving forward?
For Vic, right?
Yeah, like what are his plans moving forward in life after this? Like what is he going to do?
Well, I think the first thing he wants to do is to repair the reputation that they've damaged.
Okay.
And of course, I'll just add in my opinion, I imagine he's not ready to retire yet. He still had a very active convention schedule. It seemed like he still was absolutely wanting to do work, which, he's Vic. I think I've made a pretty good point about my opinion that he really cares about the fans. So, of course, he wants to do that for the fans. But he also needs to make money. He's got bills. He's got a ways to go. He's getting up there in age. I'm sure he wants to put money away and retire. And he might have some money away now, but I don't think he's ready to retire. To just suddenly lose your income just like that, like pretty much a good chunk of your income.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like when you get fired, it's like health insurance. Your what is it? Your retirement. Like what's gonna? Yeah, and I'm assuming actors usually don't stop acting until they're about to pass on. Usually, some people take time off because they have kids and stuff and don't make movies for years. And it's like, come on, you were my favorite. What the hell are you doing? I know you have a family, but come on, it's like $20 million. Just do another movie. But that's just.
Let me just clarify for Skilly's there, man. I don't mean any shade at Fantasy Soft with the statement, but I don't think his role with Fantasy Soft is really like enough to make up for that stuff. As far as I understand, it's still in development, stuff like that. So by no means does that really make up for the massive loss of income. Like, not even close. And I don't even think that makes up for literally 0.5% of what he's lost. Not even 0.5%. Probably not close to even that. That's just my opinion on that one, though. And again, no shade at Fantasy Soft. I just want to emphasize. That. It's a smaller independent animation studio that's working on some projects.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so
no, the paycheck from that is not even going to equal like the paycheck from like doing a Broly movie.
Exactly. And a lot of the income that these VAs make nowadays are from conventions and the signings and stuff like that. So if he's not able to go to those conventions, that is a massive loss of income. I think he's still working with Viz. They didn't. That's a little complicated. They didn't terminate his contract, but if I recall, the only contract he had with Viz was with JoJo's, if I'm recalling properly. And I think his work with JoJo's was done. So the good of that is Viz did not drop him, and he still finished the role and all that. So it seems like they were okay with that. Like, they let him finish. But at the same time, I don't think there's a current contract with Viz. I might be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. If you know Vic is working on a Viz role, please let me know. But as far as I understand, his role was Rohan and JoJo's, and that's done now. So maybe he can still work with Viz, but I don't think there is an active contract with them. I guess the big difference is if the contract with Viz was specifically for that role with JoJo's, then probably it's done. But if the contract was more like Funimation, where the Funimation one, for example, was a year contract, and they basically can use you for whatever they think they would see fit in that year period. So if it's a contract like that with Viz, sure, maybe he can still get some work with them, but I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like such a big blow to like his livelihood.
It is. It really is. So yeah, to go back to your question, I think Vic, to his own, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he said something like one of his main goals with this is to repair his damaged reputation, the reputation he's worked 20 years or so on. I'm paraphrasing that a little bit. And then I'm adding on the fact that I think, I don't think he's ready to retire yet. I think he still needs to work. And if you just lose all your income like that, or like 90, 95, maybe even more % of your income just like that, that's terrifying, man.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. What do you do? Exactly. Especially when...
Yeah. It's not like
you and I were going to say the same thing, I think. Yeah,
go ahead.
Most of the work he would get in that industry comes from like those clicks. So it's like, can he even really get more work? The answer is yes, but it's going to be a lot more limited. Now, on Unlocked, apparently he did an Unlocked stream today, which is an app. Mm-hmm. So I think, this is totally an assumption on that. So I do assume that Vic has some sort of sponsorship contract with Unlocked, because I have no idea why he'd stream on Unlocked over like YouTube or something. Let me throw that out there. So I'm assuming he has a contract with them at least. So that's probably pretty good for him, hopefully. And in that Unlocked stream, people are saying that he mentioned something about opening an independent studio. I don't.
That's good. Vic?
Yeah. I wasn't there for that show, so I can't really attest to what exactly was said. But that's what I'm hearing from people in chat here too. And I will say, though, aside from that stream, a lot of people have been kind of bringing that topic up, that maybe he should open his own studio.
He should. Yeah,
I think that could be really cool. And it sounds like there are some VAs who would support him. And, oh, my gosh, that'd be great. That would be wonderful. Yeah, man.
No, guys, that's not the toilet cat. This is Ziggy. Stardust is the toilet cat. Yeah, these are my cat woke up, but this is...
oh, wow.
They both have, they're twins, so they're Persians, and they both have mismatched eyes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the boy is Ziggy and the girl is Stardust, because I'm a huge Bowie fan. But it's like one of the things with my animals is if you see me, there's an animal on my feet or there's an animal on my lap. Like, you don't always see them, but then sometimes my animals are like, if you aren't looking directly at me, I'm going to either aggressively like lick you or scratch you. And so he was just like, mom. And if he starts meowing, he's like the biggest crybaby. So I'm just like, I'm right here. I'm paying attention to you.
How old are they?
16 weeks.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. So I got them. They're little butt heads sometimes, but they're cute and fluffy, and I like cute and fluffy animals.
Yeah, they have that cool eye thing going on, so that's a plus.
Yeah, and that's how so the boy, Ziggy, his right eye is blue, and his left eye is like gold green, and the girl is the exact opposite.
That's dope.
But he doesn't like me. Now he's starting to like me because I'm the only human here right now. But the girl loves me, and then he loves my boyfriend. And so I'm like, you're human number one to somebody finally. Because my dog, I'm human number one. And then with Stardust, I'm human number one. And so Ziggy likes him better. So I'm like, you're finally human number one.
That seems pretty fair. That seems fair.
Yeah, but so now I'm like, he's paying attention to me. Ziggy likes me. I'm so happy. Because before he was like, no, I'm not going to come and cuddle with you. I'm not going to purr next to you. He's like, I'm just going to stare at you. But,
took some warming up, huh?
Yeah, totally off topic, everyone. But I just wanted to make clear, this is not the one that falls in the toilet. That is the other one.
An important distinction, indeed. Especially after telling that story on the show. So
yeah. So that cat did not make an appearance. She is inside with Tulip. But yeah, back to what were we talking about before I got distracted with my cat?
Future potential projections for.
Oh yeah, him doing a studio. I mean, heck, just with how successful his GoFundMe is for his legal fees, like I'm pretty sure he's not going to get too much out of if he wins. Like, this is a suit, so if he wins, I'm not sure how much he would get from Funimation or from Monica or Ron, because I don't think Monica or Ron have any money, at least the way Nick seems that it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they've even been doing as much stuff as they have regarding the different motions they've been filing and supplemental evidence, stuff like that. Kind of seems like they are incurring a lot more cost than you would think. Now, they are shooting for at least $1 million total, but they're shooting for punitives. And if I recall, the jurisdictional limits will go up to $3 million, I think. So, they're going to shoot for as much as they can get. And the damages, like the monetary damages alone in the contracts, you got to figure that probably would add up to 6 figures, I would assume, to be honest. And on top of that, you have the reputational damages, which are inferred because they're going for defamation per se. So some of these statements that were made over and over again, like Vic is a pedophile or he's going to have criminal charges, the damages are assumed. Now, how are they assumed? That I don't know entirely. I don't know what factors the judge would look into to make a reasonable estimate of like how that would damage someone's reputation. But yeah, I mean, I think he could. Let me just put it like this: even if he won $1 million from this, you guys, we need to factor in the amount of income Vic was earning annually, what expenses he might have, and that he was assuming that he would still be having that income. So hypothetically, even if he made $1 million, we don't know what his expenses are, and that million might not last him until he's gone.
Exactly. And taxes. You always have to think about taxes. So when you might win $1 million, you're not getting a full $1 million. And yeah, we don't know what his. I mean, I don't think anyone has released any of the information on how much he was making a year. But certainly, that's not going to pay for everything. That's not going to be, unless he's a genius investor. That's not going to last him for the rest of his life.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know if he has children or anything, I think that I heard that he was engaged once, but what if he wants to get married and have kids? Like, how is that going to pay for college? That's not. Exactly.
So yeah, that's the point I just wanted to drive home. Like, even if he gets the $1 million or even if he gets the 3, it's still, it could still be a sketchy situation, man, if the guy can't really get work. And yeah, he can get certain jobs, but still, the income is slashed like 95% or so. So it's important that he does fix his reputation as well as get some monetary compensation for the damages that were incurred by all this nonsense. Yeah, and I do think opening a studio would be a good way of hopefully solidifying, income for the rest of his life, and then other jobs he might be able to get. But he's also a good guy for the industry. I think he cares about the fans. He cares about the industry as a whole. And I think he would have the best interest of both in running a studio and not just be all about money or power. And that's certainly what I think some of these studios have become all about, money and power. And it's something weird because when they hit a certain amount of income, they could, when you hit a certain amount of income and you're someone like one of these upper management people at Funimation or so, you start to have an option where it's like, do we want to focus on making even more money, or do we want to go down the route of power? And some of these people have forsaken the company's bottom line of growing the company and doing what's right for the company to forsake that so that they can obtain more personal power. And I don't think Vic would be that kind of guy.
Yeah,
people are.
You kind of just described people that work at Disney that focus on Star Wars specifically.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. It really is that this is becoming more and more prevalent, or at least, maybe it's not becoming more prevalent. Maybe it's just becoming more surface level, more exposed,
Yeah. And I mean, it sucks because everything that I've seen from him, it's like, he seems just like a really genuine person, and seeing the videos of him at cons and all that. And then it's like worrying about after, like, yeah, we're focusing on this. It looks like he's doing well, but then what happens after this is all done? There's that aftermath, which it's like, yeah, he might win, but is he ever going to work again? So that's why I wanted to know if he had any plans or anything. But opening up his own studio, yeah, that's really brave, but you got to think the first 3 years of owning a business, you don't really make a profit. You just are trying to, break even. And then after that, you start making a profit. Both of my parents, were entrepreneurs. My father had, started his own business when he was 19, still has that business. My mother's,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And my mother, she had a different job, but then once she had kids, she wanted to do something where she could have us with her. So she opened up a store. So she run her own business, and then she sold it because she's like, oh, well, let's be more with kids, because now, they're babies. Now we can't just have kids running around a store, especially little menaces like me running around an antique store, opening up all the Star Wars action figures that were there that were not mine. But it's like, thinking about that, yeah, he can open up his own animation studio, voice acting studio for animated stuff. But is he going to get those IPs? Are they going to make money? Is he going to get an income kind of thing? So those are all really risks.
Exactly. There's a lot to look into. He would definitely need help. I mean, he would need to have contacts over in Japan and that sort of thing.
I'm sure he can find people that would do that. And especially with what you just told me about the Dragon Ball thing, if I was that person that had those characters that, they did, the pornographic stuff with the characters using the voice actors, I'd be pissed. So maybe he might get lucky and those people might want to pull out from Funimation. And if he starts his own company, maybe they'll go to his. In my head, that's the best case scenario.
That's definitely a great scenario. I mean, it feels crazy for me saying that, man, because I grew up with these people voicing those characters, and I thought they did a great job. And to be honest, I still do like their voice work, but my God, their personality is trash, and they don't have the best interest, in my opinion, of the industry. And I think that's very important. So
that's why they say never meet your heroes, because they could be the worst person on the face of the planet.
I mean, that's a decent saying, but then I've met Vic and he was cool to meet, so I'm like,
it's like a hit or miss type of thing. But I mean, like you just said, you learned all about those voice actors, and then or you've heard them your entire life. You like those voice actors, but then they're shit people in real life. It's kind of that unfortunate thing where everyone is human.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's human. Everyone makes mistakes. How do you handle it? And all that stuff. What a thing.
I know. That was a lot. And I know we've been going for a while, so I'm gonna stop it there. We're gonna read some super chats, and then I will ask you the questions. You ready?
Yeah.
There'll probably be a lot of questions for you in the super chat. So
I'm ready. Let me just check one thing really quick right before we get started.
Go ahead.
But if you need to pull up something or all that, by all means, go.
Oh, I have my window pulled up, so you're good.
All right, sweet. Okay, let me just send one thing really quick. I spilled water here. 1 second, let me move that out of the way.
I'll read what's up with the chat. Oh my goodness, come on, chat.
I'm good. I just sent it over. All right.
Let's see. What the hell, guys? If there's trolls in the chat, thank you all to all my mods who are doing a good job at keeping them under control. I appreciate it. Not the best thing when there's.
You see something or what? Or
yeah.
Okay.
All right. But let's read this. So, Revenus Demon, thank you for the super chat, even though you did not say anything. Mythos Ivine?
Hey, Irving. Yeah.
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, he's the homie.
Okay. Thank you for the super chat. We love you, Anna. Glad you're taking it a day at a time. Stay strong. Also glad Hero Hei's on. but you need it to be on Nick Rekieta's stream. I don't know. I don't feel like I could add anything to that stream just because I'm not a lawyer. I would just, kind of just be sitting back listening to everything. So there's some ideas where it's like, oh, that it'd be cool to see these two people do a stream, but you also have to think about, because sometimes it's like,
you want her to stream with that boomer?
What are you going to add to the conversation, kind of thing? And I really feel like if you can't really add too much to a conversation, it's like I'd rather just sit back and listen. So like I'm a huge fan of the show EFAP, but I don't the only time I go on is when they do like big specials, because it's like I like to listen to the show as compared to being on a show. If that makes any sense.
No, I totally feel it. A few people were asking me about streaming with EVS, and I'm like, I think EVS is a cool dude, but my God, I couldn't keep up with that guy in a stream about comics or something. Like, I would be out of material in like 10 minutes. I can't do a full show. So.
Exactly. I know. I was on one show with him, and it was him. Like, it was a regular show that I do. I do a show called The Jack Show with a couple of my friends, and they're into comics too. But it's like, it's enough to where like we can talk, and it's like I know like I can talk for hours and hours and hours about Star Wars, but I always try to keep it when I'm with people that I know about it, but not to the extent that I do, to where everyone can have a conversation. But then EVS and one of his friends came on, and they're talking about comics, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I didn't talk for 4 hours.
Oh
like,
my God.
I have nothing to add to this conversation. So it's like sometimes it's a good idea in theory, but when it plays out, sometimes the pieces just don't fit.
Right. So I feel, hey, Tug is still here, man. That's awesome, Tug.
Let's see. Mm-hmm. Tug, I like the picture you posted of your baby's hand. It was cute. All right, let's see. Esme, illustration anime. Thank you for the super chat. Anna, you're missed. Heart. We are here for you. I hope I get to meet you. I already met Hei or Pei. God, I always read it wrong. Is it Hey or Hei?
It's either. It really is either.
Okay. Also, tell him eyes on chat, young man.
Oh, well, a little late now at the end of the show, but got it. Yeah. It was definitely fun at Anime Matsuri, though.
What happened?
No, I met good people over there. Great time.
Oh, let's go. Where was that at?
Texas, Houston. It was the George R. Brown Convention Center.
Gotcha. Cool. I have yet to go to Texas.
It was my only time.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting stuck on the way out. that was fun. Oh, you know about that?
No, I'm just saying, oh no. Like what happened?
Oh no. I thought you said I know for a second. I'm like, what?
No, I said, oh no.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Be careful with Houston. If you're like, I don't know about the other places, but Houston, be careful with the weather sometimes.
Gotcha. I don't know too much about Texas aside from the blood ticks that are infecting all the cattle there.
But, oh my gosh, I don't even know about that.
So Mexico, they don't really regulate like the bugs there. So there's this type of tick that has this, because ticks, drink the blood. Mm-hmm. And so there's these ticks that carry this disease where it's like a blood infection. So once a cow gets it, its meat is bad. You can't have it. So the second a cow is bit by these ticks that carry this blood disease, you have to kill the cow.
Oh my gosh.
And so because they don't regulate that in Mexico, these ticks are making their way over into Texas, and all of these, cattle ranchers are having to, kill thousands of cows because they're getting infected by these ticks. Hey, God damn it, Ziggy. Sorry.
That was funny. No worries.
This is why I don't have the cats in here very often.
As long as they never try to jump up on the shelves behind you, that would.
That is what I'm absolutely terrified of.
Yeah.
I already know it's all coming down. If they do that, I can build things, but not they're sturdy enough for me. But if they wanted to, this would all be gone. I don't know if you've ever seen my ceiling, but they would just.
No, I've never seen you. Oh my God. What?
I like stuff.
Holy smokes! I'm looking at it on the replay again. That was nuts.
Yeah, that's my little sound barrier.
That's a great sound barrier. Oh my God.
I have stuffed animals I've collected my entire life, and I didn't have a place to put them, so I was like, you know what, I'll stick them to my damn ceiling, and it'll be, because I was looking at stuff to make everything acoustically better, and so my neighbor above me didn't get pissed because I'm up streaming at all hours of the night. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, stuffed animals.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Convol's like her victims on the ceiling.
Yes. Have more.
Oh boy.
But let's see. But thank you, Esme, for the super chat. Ryan Bush, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Anna. Hi, Hero. Congrats on 117K. That Star Wars girl. Thank you. Did I break 117? I'll check it after.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool if I did. Here to show support, but off to bed now. 1 a.m. in Ireland. LOL. Oof. Have a good stream, guys. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All the way from Ireland. Caesar, I always get this name wrong. Jorpin, I think. Anna has linked hashtag Fandom Menace with hashtag Weeb Wars. Okay, what is Weeb Wars? Can you explain?
That's kind of like one of the rough names with like the whole situation, so to speak.
Okay, gotcha. Because I heard you call yourself like Weeb a couple times, and I didn't understand. I was like, maybe.
Well, let me give you a little more backstory then. Weeb is like a kind of slang, funny, bad, memey word for like an otaku. Do you know what an otaku is? Okay, so an otaku is someone who's like into Japanese culture and like anime and manga and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there you go. Some people might define that differently than I
will attempt to remember that.
Yeah, people kind of define that differently a little bit, but basically that's what that's about.
Well, I really want to climb Mount Fiji, so that's about my extent in like learning about their history, but definitely do not like the anime art style. I know people will hate me for that, but I can't. I don't like it. But and I don't like Japanese food either, except for mochi. Mochi is excellent.
What about sushi?
I don't eat fish.
Oh, well, yeah, that's pretty much everything. So
I don't eat fish. I'm the pickiest eater alive. Any food that comes from the Asian continent, I will not eat. So.
What about fried rice?
I don't like rice.
Oh, dang. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Let me just give you an overview. I don't like water. I don't like the taste of water. I don't eat vegetables. I don't eat fish. I don't eat Chinese food. I don't eat Japanese food. I don't eat Thai food. I everything from the Asian continent I do not eat. So Japan has nice markers. It has beautiful landscape and beautiful architecture. That is the extent of my fascination with it.
So would you eat a hamburger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cheeseburger with nothing on it, so just cheese, meat, and bread.
Yeah, no vegetables, right?
No.
Gotcha. So you would never eat a vegetable on anything? Like ever?
Mm.
Gotcha.
I don't like vegetables. Let's see. And then now that I'm a grown up, I don't have to. My mom didn't. My mom was kind of picky too, not to the extent that I am, but like she was so worried that me and my sisters were gonna get fat, so she would like underfeed us. So, like, she didn't care if I said, "Mom, I don't want to eat this," she wouldn't make me.
Oh, well, that's good. At least she was I guess kind of, yeah. Pros and cons.
Yeah, pros and cons. But all right, on to the next one. But thank you. Who is that one from? Let me scroll back up. Caesar. Thank you, Caesar. And then Mythos Ivorine, thank you for another super chat. I believe in you, Hero. You got this.
Hey, thank you, man. I got this. Yeah, we're all good. Everything's fine. I don't know. Hey, thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. And then Batman. Thank you, Batman, for the super chat. Show us your feet. No.
Yeah, Batman. Yeah, you got to though. It's Batman. So I mean, that's
you
how
don't
that
know
is.
the story behind my feet, so.
Okay, Batman. Sorry, you tried.
No, I have like webbing on my feet that my mom had like kind of lasered, so there's just like still slight webbing, and then my toes are freakishly long. So it came up on a stream I did for the Jack show. Yeah, so now people want to see my feet, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it always comes up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Tippy Tail McKitty, thank you for the super chat. Hero Hei is Zorro, suave and debonair.
Oh wow, that you're too kind. Thank you for that one.
Do you like Zorro?
I mean, he's cool. Sure, yeah, he's okay. Pretty cool guy.
I like Zorro. He's one of my favorite characters. I have a painting of him.
I guess I need to look more about Zorro. Like what like.
He's like was he Robin Hood.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I forgot kind of like what his shtick was. I just remember the outfit and like how he would fight, but I kind of
forgot watched like Antonio Banderas Zorro movie.
Oh, I love Antonio Bandana.
Banderas.
Banderas. Yeah, Antonio Banderas. He's awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite movie of him is Desperado, though.
That's a good movie.
You know that movie? All right, that's what's up.
Of course, he's like my like celebrity crush, so of course I know that movie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude, he's great in Desperado. Yeah.
One of my favorite T-shirts is I have a T-shirt of him as like Puss in Boots.
Nice.
Like me and my sisters, whenever we would watch movies together when we were kids, we'd always say like, "Oh, that character is like the most like me," or that one. And so when we'd watch Shrek, my sister, the one that passed away, Ellen, she like just like Donkey, you know, she's funny and she's just always there, and she like will stick with you till the end, even if you don't want her to. And so we're like, "Oh my God, Ellen, it's you." And then when we watched the second movie and Puss in Boots showed up, they're like, "Oh my God, Anna, that's you." So my dad got me a T-shirt of Puss in Boots, and I would always wear it. But I was like, it's Antonio Banderas too. So I'm like, yes.
He made a great Puss in Boots. It was entertaining.
That TV show, though, I can't do it. My stepdaughter got obsessed with it, and I'm just like, I thought it was a movie, and I'm like, is this movie ever going to end? And it's so bad. Don't watch it. But it's like the Puss in Boots animated TV show.
Didn't do him justice. That's a shame.
Don't do it. Don't watch it.
I liked him in the movies, though. That was cool.
Yeah, his voice acting's good, but the show, the plot is just so
my gosh. Esme with the Once Upon a Time in Mexico. She knows about Desperado. Look at that. Because that was the follow-up. Oh, yeah, again, the original one was El Mariachi, and that wasn't Antonio Banderas. I never saw that one, actually. I got to see that. I don't even know where you can find it. El Mariachi. Huh. One day I'll find that.
Interview with the Vampire was good. Let's see. Esme, thank you for the super chat. Demon Slayer, heart. It's been really good so far. Okay, I think that was directed at another person in the chat, but thank you, Esme. For
no, maybe it was when we were talking about anime recommendations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Demon Slayer is currently. I think it's currently airing. I don't know. I'm on episode 12. I didn't catch up yet, so I forget if it finished or not. But Demon Slayer has been pretty good.
Gotcha. Okay, that's why I did not get that reference. That one was directed at you. Gold Fox 177. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely Inuyasha, great anime.
Inuyasha is too old. No one's gonna want to watch that.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Old? It's you know how people are nowadays. You know how they are. They like the crispier, smoother animation and stuff like that.
Oh, is it like Looney Tune choppy or?
I mean, it's not that old, but it's give me just one moment, please.
Okay.
Really quick. All right. Sorry about this. I don't want dead air too. So I mean, I just got to send this really quick.
All right, it's okay. I can keep reading.
Yeah. If you want to keep reading, and I'll try to answer. Just take me a minute to send this.
No problem.
Or maybe it's not about me.
Rex Tanner, thank you for the super chat. Gundam, the stuff from the Universal Century is usually good. And Hero, did you ever finish Gunpla?
What's up, Rex? No, I haven't continued it yet. Man, it's just all this legal stuff has been so time consuming with the live streams. I haven't really had a day where it's a good day just to do the Gundam build. Basically, the Gunpla is like a Gundam model kit I have. Mm-hmm. And we're doing some streams building that. We did 2 streams, and I wanted to do one a week, but like the last 2 weeks, I haven't been able to do it yet because there's always like a breaking news to cover.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for like a more slow day to continue that.
That's one thing with like trying to stay on top of stuff. It's like you can't, like, if you start something, it's like right when you start, like it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, nothing's going on, and then the second you start something happens, and it's like you got to stop what you're doing to go cover it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but Gundam, the only reason I know what that is because there's another channel called It's a Gundam. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Yeah, he's funny.
Really cool. Yeah, he's really funny, but he does those model stuff, and there's this place. You live in California, so I don't know if you've ever been here, but oh my God, Frankincense. Have you been there?
No. Should I
You've
know?
never been to Frankincense?
You not like it?
Oh my gosh, you'd love it. So it's this giant warehouse full of everything nerdy. So they have like all the action figures. They have comic books.
I think I've been there.
They have Magic the Gathering.
Is Is there like
There's taco trucks. Parking is awful.
Is there also like a weapon section of that place?
Yes.
You know, I think like a blacksmith.
And then like baseball card stuff too.
The outside looks so familiar. I went to a blacksmith.
Like a giant warehouse.
Yeah, I didn't. If this is the same place, actually it's probably not the same place. I don't know. That'd be really coincidental.
They have weapons. They have like a couple booths that have weapons. Yeah.
So maybe it was. I don't know. I went to a place that looked like that when I was little. My mom took me there. It was really cool of her. And there was like literally a blacksmith at a place that looked just like that. And he showed me like the whole back, the forge and everything. And I got some like equipment for him for something for school, but I didn't see like the whole other, all this other stuff though. I wonder if it was something different or not, but it looked like that. That's cool. So maybe I actually know what that is a little bit, but.
Well, they have this like one booth that has all like the Gundams. And so I was like, oh, look, it's that one. I know what that is now.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's really surprising how relaxing it is actually building one of those. And the time goes quick, man. Like I barely make any progress, and the next thing I know, it's like an hour's gone, and I've pretty much been failing for an hour. But it's fun. It's fun. So.
Yeah, I mean, I make stuff all the time, and I paint stuff, so I know it's like I spent an hour and I got like part of an ear painted. You know. Yeah,
exactly. I don't even bother with the painting. That's even a step further.
Well, if anyone wants to see some like really cool Gundams that are put together, it's a Gundam. His Instagram, he posts like all of his like model kits that he does. It's really cool because he like gets really intricate with the paint jobs for it when he makes them.
I gotta check his Instagram out more.
But thank you, Rex, for the super chat, and then Not a Bug. Thank you for the super chat. Star Blazers. Star Blazers. I'm assuming that's an anime.
That's got to be Not a Bug, man. I don't even know what Star Blazers. Well, actually, I think we had a discussion about Star Blazers. I'm gonna definitely make some people cringe right now. I'm sorry. I think I talked about Star Blazers with someone before. I'm sorry, I forgot again. If I just made a giant mistake, I am truly sorry. That's all I can say about that one. And thank you, Not a Bug, for tuning in and supporting the show here too. Much appreciated, buddy. Sorry about the Star Blazers thing.
It's okay. Batman, thank you for another super chat. Sean Shemail is not my Goku.
You just called him Shemail?
Yeah, Sean Shemail is #not my Goku. Who is that?
Oh my god, that's funny. That's the voice actor who was saying who was part of the audio leaks about he's the voice of Goku. He's a famous voice actor. And his audio leaked recently where he was saying that Gohan is a Faggot, his son. That was like his audio leak. I don't know if you listened to that one, but it was really funny though.
Well, thank you, Batman, for the super chat. That umbrella guy, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Ted.
Hey.
And then in quotes, I want the Vic Mignogna situation explained to me like I don't know anime. I'll ask a super weeb, in quotations. LOL, seriously, great guest and show. Well, thank you.
Yes. It's kind of a little ironic, a little irony joke there. I guess I'm a super weeb. Is that I think the implication?
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Hey, well, thank you. I will gladly take that title. Thank you for that.
As compared to me, which I know nothing about this. Well, now I know more than I did, but I outsider looking in. I wanted to learn about this situation because I think it's a very, valid topic that I feel like needs.
Will make you into a weeb. You just need to watch Love Live and then probably Lucky Star, and then you'll be good.
I will finish Attack on Titan first.
Better idea, actually.
Yeah, I want to know why she's eating just a plain potato. That was so confusing to me. I'm like, have you ever tried just eating a raw potato? It's not something easy. But,
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, that's as far into it as I am. Actually, no, I got to the part where he just figured out that whatever the thing is that straps on that shoots to the trees, how he kept like falling, and then they found out his equipment was faulty. Oh, spoiler alert. I just got to that part, so now he's yes.
I think most people. Well, actually, I don't know. I guess your community might.
Episode 4.
Yeah, maybe you're getting some people here into anime more too. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe, yeah. Everyone, be aware of the situation. The Attack on Titan's good so far. It's kind of scary, but like the no lips on the giants. I'm like,
they're creepy.
Oh, they're so creepy. Ugh.
They are.
Right, but thank you, Tug. Thank you for the super chat. Farron Abyss Watcher, thank you for the super chat. Don't forget Jelly Bean. I think that was what we were talking about.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, couldn't forget that. Ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Chino, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Anna, would you trust Ron alone with Tulip? Hi, Hero. No.
Hey.
He is not allowed anywhere near my baby. No. Like, she wouldn't even like him.
That's got to be a rhetorical question. Come on.
I know. No, I know Tulip. I specifically found this breed of dogs because they like bond to you and they're cute and fluffy. Tulip is a Pekingese, so she's just a little fluff ball full of love, but like I'm her human. And it was funny because when I took her around my family, because she's my emotional support animal, like I have her little vest so she can go everywhere with me. And my family's looking and they're just like, no, you're her emotional support human, because she freaks out when you're not there.
See, that's the great thing. It's like a mutual, you know?
Mm-hmm. But she, if I don't like someone, she can tell. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted a dog like that. Like if I don't like them, I want my dog to be like so in tune with me that like they know and they, you know, so when, you know, she senses when I'm feeling certain ways. And then like if I don't like someone, she's just like, yeah, she's tiny. So I'm like, you can't do anything, but she's just like, so I already know she would not
make it known at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She would go. She knows exactly what to do. She'd go and pee on him or something. But no, I would not leave my baby alone with that weirdo. Ryan Drake or Ray Drake, thank you for the super chat. Sup, Anna? Hey, did I miss much? Well, that was 2 hours ago, so I think that you pretty much caught up if you're still here.
Yeah, at the moment, probably. Probably was good.
All right, but thank you for the super chat, Ray. Chris Wicks, thank you for the super chat. Hail, Hero Hei, keep fighting for anime fans. I watch all your streams. Hail, Anna, you are my inspiration. Sending you love from Oz. Has a blast spending time with you guys at Celebration and hope to see you next year. Oh, well, thanks.
What a nice person.
I know. I'm still like, who... Because you know how people, they have the names and then, you know, the little icon. So it's like when you meet them in person, it's like, oh, well, which one were you?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's such a disconnect because everyone, you know, if they watch our channels, they know who we are. But, you know, for somebody that's never spoken to them and only seen chats, it's like, oh, cool. Like, it's nice to put a face to that. But I'm glad that you had fun at Celebration. It was so cold. So cold. There was like a blizzard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was an event recently or something like that?
Star Wars Celebration, that was back in April. So me and a bunch of other channels went to Celebration in Chicago. Oh, wow. And so we were there at the convention, and then we had like a bar meetup afterwards. Mm-hmm. So it was me, it was Jesse from Mindless Entertainment, it was Jeff from World Class Bullshitters, it was Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Ethan, you know, EVS, he was there for like a day. And then actually, Jeff has like a lot of people from World Class Bullshitters that were there. And then Josiah showed up for a little bit. But there's a lot of people that came. Like,
yeah, it sounds like a heck of an event.
It was awesome. But next year, it's going to be down here in Anaheim. So we'll probably do like a bigger meetup here since like Gary from Nerdrotic, I don't know if you watch his channel, he's up in San Francisco. And then, you know, I think me and Jesse's up in LA. And so... like, you know, obviously it's right here. So it's easier for us to get around and get to it. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited for next year. And it'll be warm. No snow.
It'll be in April again, or I think you said April, right?
I think so. I bought my tickets. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't buy Saturdays though, because they were sold out. And I'm like, I'm not paying like $100 for one day, you know? But yeah, I think it's in April. Could be wrong. It could be different, but I'm pretty sure. But thank you, Chris, for the super chat. And then Ray Drake, thank you again for another super chat. You can tell from the Depop with Vic, he really enjoyed the role. He was about to cry talking about it. Yeah, he was. In everything, he's always about to cry. Like when you see those like little recordings of him with fans at conventions, and he's like, he tells them, he's like, I might cry, like there might be tears, because he cares so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's tough.
And then Jimmy Freckles, thank you for 2 super chats in a row, even though you did not say anything. I hope that was not an accident. Michael Rodriguez, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Anna. Just popping up to plug Ichibaka's IGG campaign. He's working on turning his Disney Star Wars is dumb blog into a book with additional research and content. The goal is 30K hashtag IStandWithVic. Well, thank you for that. I don't want my streams to become like just for people to pay money to, have me plug things. But I just heard about his book earlier today. Gary from Nerdrotic was talking about it on his stream. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on it. Maybe I don't think Ichibaka has ever done streams before, but I mean, I love everything that he's done. So if he's ever interested, I'll have to reach out to him to see if he want to come on my channel and talk about that. But just for future reference, guys, if it has to do with the conversation, I appreciate the, super chats. You don't have to send them. It's not necessary. But I don't want it to just become like, oh, let's pay money for Anna to promote something, because I have to know about something before I'm willing to promote something. So
I personally, you didn't ask for my opinion, but I have the same policy, actually. I know some people are okay with it, but I just think it depends. I know I personally, well, I'll let you go ahead.
No. I was going to say like.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's just like, especially when you don't know what exactly the product is that they're asking to promote, you don't really feel comfortable like signal boosting that to your viewers. And it can also just be more problematic down the road if you start getting like a lot of donos that are promoting stuff, and then just
your entire thing just becomes you promoting.
Yeah, something. you don't want your show to become the let's use this as a promotional vehicle.
Exactly. Like, so like if I didn't know what this was, like I probably wouldn't have read that. So everyone do be aware. Like if somebody's like, oh, like let's say send a super chat where it's promoting like vegetables or like veganism. It's like anyone that knows me knows I'm not a vegan and knows I don't like vegetables and knows I love steak. So that obvious. It's like you kind of know your audience and the person that you're trying to get to promote your stuff. I understand what this is about, but I just want to make everyone aware. I have said this before in streams when somebody has done this, but Michael, thank you for that. And it was, I guess it's always appropriate to bring stuff like reinstate stuff, but that is something that I would have to do more research on. But so far Ichibaka has only put out like he does his research. That's something that I really respect, because there's a lot of people that just put things out there and they don't do their research on stuff. And it's very like infuriating. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, but he does his freaking research. So I'll look more into it and maybe talk to him about it. But if he's interested in promoting that would be something that I'd be willing to help him, promote on my channel. But just to make everyone clear, that's not something that I usually do. Like, don't send in super chats just to promote something like that, But I don't know if I said that all, to the best of my ability. That's all that's coming.
It's a tough one to answer.
It is. But like some people, they're like, oh, go like support this channel, and it's like, okay, but then you go and you're like, oh, well, there's nothing on here that interests me. Like off the top of my head, like I don't know, designing how tires work. Like, I'm like,
that was an interesting one.
that was like the most boring thing I just had like stuff happen with my car, so I'm like, oh my god, like what is the most boring thing that I could possibly like have absolutely no interest in promoting? It'd be something like that,
Mm-hmm.
But moving on. Thank you for the super chat though, Michael. And then Mandatory Kelly, thank you for the super chat. Love your work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And then Mythos Irene, thank you for 2 super chats in a row. Sheepdog Ron, he attacked with a remote. I don't get it.
I forgot. Yeah, he. I guess. Oh, you don't know about the hitting the wife with the remote part?
No. What happened?
Okay. I don't have the thing pulled up right here, but yeah, paraphrase. Basically, one of the stories was he was like wrestling with this kid or something on the couch. And he kept kicking. The kid kept kicking the wife. And then she asked him to stop, and he wouldn't. And she asked him again, and he wouldn't. And then she like had the remote in her hand, and she like tapped him to try to get his attention. And then apparently he like got up and was really mad. And this is again paraphrased, and this is only according to the affidavit. So take that for what you will. But then he apparently got the remote from her and like reached back and hit her with the remote. So that's what that's making a joke out of a little bit.
So he assaulted his wife.
According to the affidavit, yeah. I mean, that's supposed to be sworn under oath, so.
Damn. Well, that means nothing to people nowadays. Swearing under oath. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the judge did actually give a protective order. I forget if it was a protective order or just a straight up restraining order. I think it was a protective order though. So I mean, if that adds a little more credibility, maybe, I don't know.
Well, good for her then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Where was the other one? Oh, at least you didn't grab your mom's weave, just her hair.
That one I don't know.
What happened?
I have no idea about that one.
Oh.
No
okay.
idea.
Oh, okay. That was when I was saying Vic, he just touched her, like he's going up and touching her hair. He's not going up and like grabbing her boob kind of thing.
Right.
So, and I said like I touched my mom's hair because like my mom's hair my entire life has been shorter than your hair.
Whoa.
Like, she has like short. My mom, for everyone that doesn't know, my mom looks like Elsa from Frozen. So like pale, bleach blonde hair, but she has green eyes, not blue eyes. But and I guess when she was younger, she had long blonde hair. But then when she decided to start having babies, she knows that babies pull hair. So she's like, F it, I'm just cutting off all my hair. And it doesn't look bad. It was just, my mom rocks the pixie. My mom's always had a pixie cut, short pixie cut. And so to see my mom with like chin length hair, I was like, what?
Yeah, that explains a little more actually. Because I mean, I was making the assumption when you explained that she must have even shorter hair usually. But yeah, that is sometimes referred to as a shorter cut for a woman. So I was like,
Oh, it's not. It's like just to her chin, like her jaw.
Wow.
And like that to me is like, that's long hair for my mother. My mom like buzz cut almost, but like she's got the little bangs and she likes.
Does she like it?
Yeah, she likes it. I guess she's growing it out, but I mean, because she still dyes her hair blonde, even though she's like in her 60s, so like her hair is like gray and white, but she likes the blonde hair. So it's like, it when I guess you and I, we both have dark hair, so like our hair is different than blonde people's hair, but blonde people's hair, they have a lot of hair, it's just really thin. So my mom has really thin blonde hair, so when I touched it, I was like, it feels weird because I'm so used to my hair, which is like, I shed like crazy. I don't know why I'm not bald, but I still have a lot of hair. But with her, I'm like, there's hair, but it feels kind of like cotton candy, I guess. Like
kind of cool,
super thin. But yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna grab my mom's boob. That's weird. But that was my analogy. It's like he's coming up and touching your hair. It's not that, like, I wouldn't consider that sexual assault. Like maybe if he's like coming up and like yanking your head, but
I mean, especially when they know each other for as many years. I mean, at that point, I think they would have known each other for around 8 years or so, I think. And I mean, it was a compliment, and I don't know.
I mean, I feel like at that point, if he's comfortable enough to do that, that means that there's been something in that friendship that lets him know that that's okay within their boundaries of friendship,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. But yes, the analogy, yes, that's what that was referencing. But thank you for the 2 super chats, dude. I appreciate it. And then Ray Drake, thank you for 2 super chats in a row. So I will read those both. I'm starting to get the hiccups. Excuse me. All the proof that's come from KV and proven false, but people still think Vic did something wrong is pure lunacy. I agree.
I feel like some of them are just in denial now. Like they don't want to admit they're wrong, so they're just doubling down.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like you started like the small fire and then it burned down the house and you're like, oh shoot, I was just trying to roast marshmallows on the stove and then I didn't do anything wrong kind of thing, but you burned the house down.
That's an interesting analogy, actually. Yeah, that is.
That happened. Some kid in my town
really?
did that and they said they didn't do anything wrong. It's like,
oh my god. Oh, Anna, it did the thing. It did the thing. It might disconnect. Can you hear me?
Oh no, what happened?
Whatever happened before, it just did it again. So I don't know. It's okay right now. It's like it's weird. Like the top right where it says like log. I don't know if you're logged in. I'm not. It says like log in, sign up, private chat. Like that stuff just kind of like flickered and looked like it refreshed. But last time it disconnected sooner though, so I think we're okay.
Nothing on my end is making that. I usually can tell when my computer starts to tweak out, but nothing's done that yet. So that's
okay.
good.
Cool. Guess we're good.
All right. Let me know if anything else weird happens.
Yeah, I will.
Let's see. The second one from Ray Drake. I'm with Nick R on the leaks. They don't offend me. They get a slight chuckle, but the hypocrisy of Kick Vic for what his harassment and what is acceptable is the issue. I understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's like it's very hypocritical of them to think doing that kind of stuff is okay, but then touching somebody's hair is sexual harassment.
Yeah, I personally just like to also add that's bad business in my opinion. I don't know. I like keeping these companies accountable. A lot of them nowadays are just so inflated with ego, and I guess it's to be expected when you have so many years of like tech companies just getting funded with millions and millions and millions and just all kinds of stuff going on. As people start to forget the real perspective of things, I think.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you.
But thank you for the super chat. And then Thomas Conservative, thank you for the super chat. Picture froze and we got stuck with the dude. ... Typical internet winky face.
Oh, we know what that's about.
Yeah, that one is very self-explanatory. Sorry, guys. I mean, my computer is extremely old. This is like my childhood computer, but somehow it works.
Whoa.
Still. Well, it's because there was nothing on it for years. Like my mom has been remodeling her house, and then she was going to get rid of everything. And I have, my laptop, which decided to die. Well, it works, but it like, I can use it for 10 minutes and not doing anything, maybe looking on Facebook, and then it'll die. But I needed something that I could do videos on, and my equipment doesn't work with my Cintiq nor my Mac. So, and they're all full of memory because of all of my like Photoshop files and ZBrush files. And so this had like nothing on it. And then so I've been doing everything on it, but it tweaks out some things.
Yeah. At least it worked out a little bit. I mean, it's a pretty good computer for a childhood computer.
Yeah.
It's able to do this stuff.
Yeah, hey, it runs. I think it's like still Windows 7.
Like you could put that thing in a museum.
I could.
That's good. That's good. Also, I see Rose Sparks in chat. Yo, what's up? Surprised to see you here, but pleasant surprise.
Is that one of your subs?
Yeah, she's cool.
Gotcha. Well, hello. Welcome. Let's see. Titus Moeller, thank you for the super chat. Anna, did you see my tweets to you about the Mahler quotes? I can do this all day, quotes, drawing idea. Time may not allow you to do it, but I thought it was a cool idea. I did not. I will have to go look that. When I wake up in the morning, it's like it'll take me an hour just to scroll through my mentions. So if you can retweet me, maybe if you can either retweet it to me or put it in one of the threads of one of the tweets that I've done, maybe I can find it a bit faster. But I would like to see what that idea is. But Mahler and Robot Head both, like, they failed me last night when they both did the stupid car thing, which I'm glad you did not do. I would have been mad.
Not me, right?
No, you didn't do it. Mahler and Robot Head did it. And I was like, my eye was twitching. I'm like, I can't believe you guys did it. Because it's this inside like joke and like little feud that me and Jeremy have where he keeps trying to get people to do this like car video thing where he claps, and it pisses me and Jesse off so much.
I don't get the entire meme, but I do know some bit of the car meme stuff a little bit. All
right. Well, all you need to know is the car videos were my idea. Jeremy was like, "Oh, that's not a good idea." I was like, "Jeremy, it's a genius idea. Let's do it." They became a huge thing.
Yeah, I see him do fair amount of car videos out there.
Yeah. And then he does the clapping thing. I'm like, all this started, I created a monster. I know I did, but it was a good idea. And I will take complete credit for that because it was 100% my idea. But now he adds the stupid clap shit. And I'm like, stop.
How'd the clap thing start again? What was that?
Jeremy's crazy. That's how it happens. And it bothers me and Jesse to no end. So when he keeps trying to, don't.
Oh, sorry. That's how it goes. I understand now, I think.
It irks my soul, like it really does. Like I die a little inside every time I hear it or see it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But me and Jesse, if he starts doing it, I put him in timeout in the chat. But that is the thing with that. But Mahler and Robot had both said it, and I was like, I'm dying a little inside. Like a piece of my soul just died.
Oh man. Oh, if you don't mind, I wanted to acknowledge. I don't know who sent it in chat, but I saw it go by like 5 minutes ago or so. Someone said they were sending me I think pictures on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram a lot. I don't especially check my DMs a lot on there. I'm sorry about that, but I will take a look and I'll see what that's all about. So thank you, whoever that was. I saw it like scrolling.
It better not be porn, guys.
I mean, it depends how you define that. So in the anime community, we call. No, I'm kidding.
No. Immediately a red flag comes up in my head when somebody says they're sending pictures. I'm like, oh God, no. Like, I have an email that I started for my channel, and it takes me like all day to like get mentally prepared to open it, because all it is all this like porn spam.
Oh my god, I'm glad no one does that. Well, I don't want to jinx anything, but no, yeah,
knock on wood, because it's like
that'd be annoying, yeah.
Because it's frustrating, because then people actually send me like heartfelt emails, but it's like I have to go through, you know, mountains and mountains of porn to even get to that, and it's every single day. So it's like,
oh my god,
I know, it's people are freaking weird. That's ugh. But moving on. Infernal Iris, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Anna, was wondering if you like Care Bears. I have some stuff I'd like to send you. You and Hero are awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. There
you go. The Care Bear movie terrified me when I was a child, because it's actually pretty dark for a Care Bear movie. I remember me and my sisters went to go watch it, and I was like, I got nightmares from it. I like the yellow Care Bear with the sun on its belly. That's the one I like. My friend gave me my first Care Bear when I was in high school, because she made a joke about something about me, and it made me sad. So she brought me a Care Bear the next day to tell me that she cared and she was sorry. And it's the one with the sun on it.
Caring friend you got.
Yeah. But so I like my favorite color is yellow, so I like the Care Bear with the sun on its belly, so that's the one I like. But I don't know too much about the Care Bears or their lore. I just know that that's the one I like, and the movie scared me when I was a kid. But I hope that answered your question. But thank you for the super chat. And then Evan Rogers, thank you for the super chat. Some cosplayer is complaining OG Gohan's Twitter was hacked. I can send Hero the screenshots. Okay, that's probably what that was about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, please do. Yeah, send them over if you wouldn't mind. The email is on my channel. Well, I mean, I don't want to type it in your chat now. I'm scared. I'm going to get...
You're going to get porn?
Guys, please don't send me that stuff. I got enough weird stuff to deal with. But no, yeah, if you would email me those things, I will definitely see what I can do about that. So that would be much appreciated. It's on my About page on my channel. So.
And then the link to Hero's channel is in the description of this video.
Much appreciated.
No problem. But yeah, that's where you can find his information to contact him. Then Ryan Drake, thank you for another super chat. Or Ray Drake, I keep calling him Ryan. You may be a pickier eater than my girlfriend. Holy shit, I have yet to meet a person that is more picky than I am.
Oh, are they saying you are more picky?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Jeremy's back. You heard about the car video, it sounds like.
Go away. You're in trouble. No, it's not. It's not saving humanity. You're poisoning something that was great.
Oh my God, Jeremy. Heard about the car video discussion. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He hears it. If you do any of that, I will put you in timeout. All right, I'm almost done with these. That Jedi's reviews. Thank you for the super chat. Your thoughts on the upcoming Joker movie? Hyped? I actually did a video on that if you want to go check it out. It was actually the last video I put out. So go check that out if you want to know my thoughts on the Joker movie. So that's kind of usually my policy. If people ask me about something I covered, I always, unless it was like, a year ago, I always tell people to go, if you want to know all my thoughts, that's where it is. But,
yeah, you can kind of get your thoughts out more in a full video than a quick mention.
Yeah.
Rose, I'm not going to tell her about that. That's
what?
I think she was asking about that just because we were talking. I think it's because I said like there's enough weird stuff. There was something weird. Just someone in the Discord server. That's all that's about. Basically, it's someone in the Discord server, and we looked into them a little bit, and what we found was quite disturbing. That's really all I can say about that, because I don't want to put like a one dude on the blast, but
gotcha.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
All right, let's see. And then Mythos Irene, thank you for the super chat. Paying to promote Mind Comp. I'm clearly kidding, Anna. But you see, you're kidding, but somebody might actually be serious.
I wouldn't even read that one if I were you, but it's too late.
I know. I thought like halfway through, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Somebody's going to clip it and put it. But It's a joke, which I'm glad that he, said that in the actual chat. So yeah.
Mythos Irving says neither would I. Oh my god.
Why'd you chat me? Oh well, too late. Oh well, regrets. But thank you for the super chat. Paul Contreras, thank you for the super chat. Unbox all the Star Wars figures, please. No, you guys don't understand. For every figure that is in a box, I have one opened, and some of them I have multiple. You can't see on the floor. I have bins full of action figures. I don't know if you can see in the tiny little rectangle that I have. You can kind of see this where the wampa is, where my thumb is right there. That black stuff is an action figure stand that I made. I need to put lights on that one too. That's where the blue lights are coming from on this side of the room because I have an action figure stand. I need to figure out which action figures are going where, and I need to put all my action figures up, but then it's hard making the decision on who's going where. It's strategic. This is a headache, and who would have thought that this is my biggest problem right now, is figuring out how to organize my action figures for display. And then I don't have enough space to display all my action figures, so I'm like,
you got to decide which ones you want then, or what?
No, I mean, I like prequels, expanded universe, originals. Do I put the stormtroopers on one? Do I put the Sith and the stormtroopers? And I just realized that one of my cats knocked over something, and I think it might fall eventually. I'm gonna have to fix that.
Should you? Yeah, if you want to get it, go ahead.
No. That's something very heavy that I might. It's like a shelf, but it's
my gosh,
it's not gonna fall right now. But if like there's an earthquake, it might. I'll fix it. I'll fix it in like an hour. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not unboxing all of these. They look great. They're covering up all the holes in my wall that I made from listening to the Ron thing. But we are all caught up on Super Chat. So I know this has been a very long stream. I know yours are usually not this long. But to close it up, I always do the question. So are you ready?
I think. Yeah, I'm ready. And no worries. It's been a very fun show.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. So these are the questions that I ask everyone. The last one's been changing, and I actually just found an 11th question that I'm going to include from now on.
Oh, sweet. Starting with mine? Or
after? Yeah, you're the first one.
Yeah, cool.
Well,
okay.
This is episode 5 of Forest Talks. 5 is my favorite number. And so I was like, oh, cool. And then I found this great question that I was like, that I wish I would have included that in all of it. But that's going to be the final question. So it'll be the end 11 questions instead of 10.
All right.
Are you ready for the first question?
I am certainly ready, I think.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Oh, geez. That is a little bit tough. I might have to go with coffee, to be honest.
Coffee?
Maybe coffee might be my favorite word. There's nothing wrong with coffee. Yeah, I think I'll go with coffee on that one.
Coffee is your favorite word. All right.
I mean, Necco's pretty good, but coffee, man. I don't think I would. Yeah, coffee. Let's go with that.
Let me update my chat so I can see it. It's tweaked out there. All right, coffee is your favorite word. All right.
That word always makes me happy. So
there you go. To each their own. What is your least favorite word?
Decaf.
Oh my goodness, you like the caffeine, huh?
Yeah, we'll actually make that the answer. Yeah.
All right. Question 3: what turns you on?
Oh, well, now I can use the Necco one from earlier.
Necco?
Yeah, Necco waifus. Necco waifus are the shit.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the waifus with the cat ears. Oh, like hold up. You don't know what a like her? Like a cat girl, like a cat girl.
like the bathwater girl.
No, that's a cosplay thought. That's way different.
Oh.
How dare you?
That's just what I thought of when I think of real person. Okay, I get you.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this back. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I think I got it. Oh god, no. I'll do that later. It's all good.
All right. What turns you off?
Instantly, I'm thinking freaking Lemoyne's voice, just because chat. I mean, that's true, but I mean, that's kind of a weird answer, though. Probably like body odor, definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And this doesn't just mean in like when you hear that, you know, it goes towards that, but it could also mean like rudeness or something like that. Like what's just like
what turns me off of
like a human turn off kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh,
not just
I'm
that.
so sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Let me rephrase. Probably just like pure selfishness, definitely.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
What sound or noise do you love?
Wait, what sound? What?
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, okay. I love the sound of. Oh my God, there's so many answers for this one. To be honest, there is a lot of answers for this one. I mean, I don't want to be boring with the coffee shit, so I don't want to answer that. But I do love the sound of the coffee machine on in the morning. That definitely makes me very happy to hear that thing going. I also like the sound of a good glass of whiskey being poured. That's always great. I like the sound of epic anime openings. Those are very nice. I like the sound.
Your favorite sound in the whole world? Like, what's the last thing you want to hear? Or it's like that instant like joy when you hear it.
Oh my God, I don't know if I've answered that one. That's a tough one. Favorite sound? Yeah, that's a unique one.
Guess we can go with the coffee one because that was the first answer. Usually it's the first answer.
Yes, I just don't want to. I mean, surely there won't be any more coffee answers. We have like 7 questions left, right? Or 6, 7,
6.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go with the sound of a coffee being brewed because that is a good answer.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the sound of the gardeners outside with the blowing machine when I'm trying to record a video. Ugh. That shit is the worst.
Dude, I know what you're talking. I sleep in because I'm up all night, and I sleep in till like, you know, maybe like 11 or noon. Every Friday at 8 a.m. the leaf blower is right outside my window.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, somebody is going to die.
Yeah.
I feel like going that.
Yeah, I'm glad that one was relatable to in a way there. Yeah.
All right. Number 7. What is your favorite curse word?
Ooh. That's an interesting question. I don't curse that much, but it probably would be good old fuck. Probably. I don't know. You can't really go wrong with that. I don't curse a lot, but when I do, it's probably the F word. Probably. Yeah. I'll think about that for another like 10 seconds though. Let's see.
I think it's usually the first answer that comes to mind is always the one.
Yeah, it's got to be that. That makes the most sense. It's probably the one I use the most. So we'll go with that.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I mean, if things were way different, like I wouldn't mind going to law enforcement. I think it's definitely too risky for, like, you know, it's one thing to want to benefit society and all that, but I think, man, it's a tough job for the amount that they get in return. I have a lot of respect for that. I would definitely go into law enforcement, but it's just so much risk. I'm trying to find some other ways to try to help people and better society and all that. But I definitely got respect for the good cops out there. And it's a line of work I could find myself going into if things were a little bit different with the way that all works out. So I guess I'll go with law enforcement, probably.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for police officers. So I have a lot of respect for them too.
Oh, man.
All right, let's see. What profession would you not like to do?
The people who work in the like waste department. Is that a profession? I think so, right? Like one of the people who works
garbage or sewage.
Sewage, man. I mean, they're both bad, but sewage is even worse, I think.
I know.
I visited. They had us in middle school. We visited like one of those places. That's why I remember that. My God, like what?
I'm right there with you with that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. Could you imagine like just coming home after that, like how bad you would smell?
Yeah, you would want to sleep in the shower with it on, right? Like, fuck. There you go.
Soap would be your best friend.
Uh-huh.
All right. Question number 10. If your favorite character existed in their universe as well, what would you want them to say to you when you met?
You too can become a Super Saiyan.
I don't know who that is.
It's Goku. I mean, yeah, if Goku could tell me I could become a Super Saiyan, I'd be like, all right, let's train. And yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, Goku's my favorite character. Hei is my second favorite. I love them both for different reasons, but Goku's still my favorite.
There you go. All right. Now, last and final question. Who in the history of the planet would you like to spend an evening with?
Ooh. So we're talking about the canon lore of the planet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Only on a channel like the kind of stuff that we do. Would that even be a question?
Would that
be? All right. There's got to be a good answer for that. There's so many good answers for that, though. That's the problem. Honestly, I probably want to meet Bruce Lee, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great fighter, but he's also done a lot of philosophical work and stuff like that. A surprising amount, actually. I've read some of the books. One of the books I read, he didn't write, but it was like a bundle of certain philosophical ideas he was discussing and stuff like that. I think we could have a good time, like exchanging moves and stuff like that. Because he definitely is way better martial arts than I am. But I'm in 2019, and some things are new now. So I could kind of show him some of the new stuff. He could show me all the other like 99% of crazy shit that he knows. I wouldn't be able to show him much in comparison. And then we could have a nice talk. That would be great. I mean, there are some other very good answers as well, but that's the first one that comes to mind. I think that would be awesome.
There you go. And that concludes my questions and the stream for today. I did see somebody snuck in the last super chat, so I read that. Wadesworth, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Anna, did you get your issues with your tube sorted out? I'm assuming that is with this. I think so.
Seems good.
Yeah, I think it's better now, but thank you for the super chat. Don't send any more super chats in at anyone. I'm going to end this stream. But thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on, talking with my audience for almost 4 hours now. So is there any closing things that you would like to say? Anything that you would like to plug? Your channel is in the description. If there's anything.
Yeah, thank you. It's I definitely appreciate the opportunity. And especially because what we're discussing here, it can get into some heavy stuff, to be fair. And I definitely appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come to a new audience and speak about such things, which can certainly get a bit touchy here and there. So I greatly appreciate that opportunity, and hopefully it all went well. Hopefully they enjoyed the show, and thank you for that. And I mean, if you guys enjoyed my content, my channel, you know how to find me. But definitely, if you like what you heard about Vic, maybe give him a follow on Twitter. Go check out Vic's work. Vic has a lot of old videos on YouTube and stuff like that from the panels. If you want to learn more about him, there's plenty of ways to do that online. Look at his previous roles and things like that. And definitely stay away from the Google results, though, because that will take you to websites like ANN. And you don't want to, well, maybe you want to hear what they have to say for a laugh. But if you really want to learn, there's better ways. So I guess that's pretty much what I have to say.
Well, there you go. And yes, everyone, if you want to know more about what's been going on, obviously, we tried to go through everything, but there's been a lot of stuff, and he's been covering it for the past 7 months. So is Nick Ricada, so is that Umbrella guy. All of their channels are linked in the description of this video. So if you want to learn more about it, if you want to go start back at the beginning, I'm pretty sure you've done like 50 videos on it, right? If not more.
Probably closer to 200. Yeah.
Okay, 200 videos. If you want to learn more about this, go check out Hero's channel. It's in the description. If you have the extra cash on you to go donate to Vic's GoFundMe for his legal fees. I know that they're pretty close to their goal, and for what I feel like, from my own personal opinion, that he is innocent, and I know just how expensive legal bills can get. So every little bit helps, and if that's something that you're interested in helping to support, The link for that is in the description as well. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this final episode of Force Talks, and I'm really, really glad that we finally got to do this. And, you know, I got to learn more because this was a learning experience for me as well. Like, you know, just come kind of, what is it, when you draw as a kid and you connect all the numbers, you're finally connecting all the dots, because I knew bits and pieces, but putting it all together, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a very, you know, like you said, touchy topic, but this is something that I feel, you know, innocent till proven guilty. From everything that I've seen, I mean, an innocent man is being slandered. So I'm very much for helping people in situations like that, even if I'm not, you know, the biggest anime fan out there.
We'll get you there. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
I'll dive a little bit more into it. But again, thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone in the chat that's been here for, you know, the past 4 hours. Thank you. And until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.